Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
122nd pitch. Got him swinging. What an effort by Eric Stoltz. Complete game win and a standing ovation. And well earned in a 2-1 win, but it would not have happened without the mighty might. Alexi Amarista knocked in both runs last night with an RBI triple and a single to left field. Amarista and Stoltz combining for the two. Watch out, he's back. Carlos Gonzalez leading the National League in home runs with 24 and in extra base hits and about every slugging percentage you want to find in your statistical book. So we're set to go. A cloudy early evening here in San Diego as we welcome you to Petco Park. The Colorado Rockies and the San Diego Padres completing this three-game series. And good evening, everyone, and welcome aboard with Mark Sweeney. I'm Mark Grant, taking a few days off to Kenberg. We're pleased that you have joined us. And Eric Stoltz, it wasn't an ordinary effort for him last night in many ways. The complete game was his second. You have to go all the way back to the championship year, 1998, to find a left-hander that completed more than two games.
Yeah, and it's an outstanding effort by Eric Stoltz. And the weight of not only a 10-game losing streak, but his teammates, the coaching staff, on his shoulders. And last night, what a masterful position. I love this fact that Bud Black went out and asked Eric Stoltz how he felt. He got the right response. He got a lot of intensity. And he also understood that he had to go out there and make some quality pitches against the last guy with 102 pitches. What an effort.
Yeah, with the tying run on and a potential winning run at the plate for the Colorado Rockies. By the way, that other left-hander was Sterling Hitchcock back in 1998. He hit more than two complete games. Now, as a hitter, everyone applauded, the fans applauded the fact that Bud Black gave Stoltz a chance to complete his own deal. As a hitter, were there times where you thought, he's going to take me out of this position? I was going to pinch hit, but they changed pitchers. I'm going to yank Sweeney.
Yeah, and there was also a position where the manager had to make a choice, and I always faced the right-handed pitchers. If they brought a lefty in, that was the manager's choice, and when he gave me that opportunity to face those rare left-handers, you had to pick up the intensity. That's exactly what Eric Stoltz did last night, and the team definitely needed it.
Well, tonight is how do you keep score? And we all have a different formula. It's as different as our personalities, but this is all the same. You have to know the numbers for each position. The only confusing part is you would think they'd go 3, 4, shortstop 5, third base 6, but way back when, shortstop was really short left field. So shortstop became 6, and then you go to left field 7, 8, 9 in the outfield. That's the basic. And, of course, you have to know how you're going to keep track of the hits. Single, double, triple, home run, stolen base, caught stealing, DP for double play, FC for fielder's choice. Strikeouts are K. We'll get into that later, why strikeout is K, because you got too many other S's, including sacrifice fly. And BB can be a walk, or it might be a W if that's the way you happen to score. We're going to have a camera over our shoulders. We'll try to keep it nice and clean for you tonight. If we have any confusing plays, you'll see how we confuse each other. Well, it was such a much-needed victory last night. You can imagine that clubhouse for the Padres was jumping. Kelly Krall with more on that when we come back.
Padres and the Rockies. San Diego took game 2 between the second complete game performance by Eric Stoltz, and it was a very cool moment in this place as Buddy Black went out to the mound and decided to leave Eric in. Nick Hundley, who was catching, recalls the significant moment from his shoes.
Yeah, Buddy fired me up. I was as fired up as I've been all year, I think. He just came out and asked Eric if he was good to go in a little bit more dramatic terms than that. But and Stoltz, he wasn't coming out of the game. So that fired me up, and I'm glad Buddy gave me the opportunity to stay out there and rode him and trusted him, and he came through.
That is our Geico quote of the game, and the decision paid off for Buddy Black as Eric Stoltz sealed the deal. Andrew Kashner will try to seal the deal tonight on the series. Of course, after the break, Dick Imberg and Mark Sweeney will have the call.
Park in the Park as Andrew Kashner ready to go to work on the first pitch of the game at 93 miles an hour. Just misses the strike zone. Charlie Blackmon called up from Colorado Springs with the injuries here on the Rockies squad. And he hits that to left field and well, but Quentin perched in the perfect spot for the out. 2 pitches, 1 out as we look at the Rockies lineup of Walt Weiss. It's brought to you by Hyundai. Blackmon followed by LeMahieu, the very dangerous left fielder Carlos Gonzalez, and that sure makes that middle of the lineup look tougher, doesn't it? Kadire hitting at a lusty .336 in the cleanup spot. Todd Hilton's back in there. Nolan Arenado at third. The young third baseman Torey Alba, the former Padre catcher, hit 7th. Jonathan Herrera 8th, and De La Rosa 9th. Strike to DJ LeMahieu. He's 0 for 9 in the series thus far. Hitting at .264. Strike 2. Pounding a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Kashner 5-4 in the season. There's Walt Weiss with the Mark Grant look-alike hairdo.
Oh, I love that hairdo. How can you not?
Yeah, maybe it is a Mark Sweeney hairdo.
It's all about ease when you wake up in the morning.
The heck with follicles. Right back through the middle as Kashner powers a couple of fastballs, but didn't fool LeMahieu on that heater, and the Rockies have their first base hit as we look at the Padres defense, brought to you tonight by the Aramco Group. with Quinton Denorfia in center, Blanks in right, Headley and Cabrera on the left side, Forsythe and Guzman will play the right side of the infield. Nick Hundley for Andrew Kashner behind the plate. Well, Carlos Gonzalez out of the lineup with a finger injury, right hand. We'll see just how lusty his swings will be tonight.
That's a good point, Dick, and it's all about the release of the hands, and if he rolls over quickly he could definitely aggravate that a little bit. Something to monitor tonight.
Comes out swinging. He'll be going on to New York for the Tuesday All-Star game and also compete in the Home Run Derby. He and Michael Kadire on deck will be two of the four hitters for the National League side in the Derby. Joining Bryce Harper and David Wright of the Mets.
You got to love Andrew Kashner pumping that 95-mile-an-hour fastball in on the hands. That'll test the finger. And it does. It changes the scouting report. It's going to be an indication of how they do it early in the game. I like the aggressiveness by Andrew Kashner.
Well, he has a ton of big hits. He also strikes out a lot. 99 times. Make that 100. 2 away.
Well, let's take a look at the scouting report. Brought to you by Jaguar of San Diego. It is a learning curve for Andrew Kashner. He's evolving as a starter in the big leagues, and he learned a huge lesson by his teammate Eric Stoltz last night. And he has to have success with that slider. He needs to find that grip, flirt with it. If he gets a lot of sliders, he's going to get some big Ks with that pitch tonight.
Kadire at 336 among the National League leaders. Oh, a little close there. That ball's a little lower on the bag. He had LeMahieu leaning. 2 for 7 in the series is Kadire with a couple of walks. After that high fastball, clips it back to the screen.
Well, seeing the power fastball early in the game by Andrew Kashner. He sits around 92, 93. He wants to locate on the edges. He'll change some eye levels. Power fastball early in the ball game tonight.
Base hit to right field. Just went with the pitch. Breaking ball. And 2 on for the Rockies here in the first inning.
Well, just a nice piece of hitting. Sits on this changeup and goes the other way with it. Sees it out of the hands early for Andrew Kashner. That's the reason why you're seeing 336 average. Hits to all fields. Nice piece of hitting.
And the veteran first baseman Todd Helton steps up. A lifetime .331 hitter against the San Diego Padres. And doing well this year as well, 10 for 29. Not so well against some of the other pitchers in the league. As you saw, his average is at .239. That's unlike Todd Helton. Going to be 40 soon. Two on, 2 out for the Rockies. His fastballs hitting 95 time and time again.
There's the outstanding effort by Eric Stoltz tonight. He can sit back and watch a big league ball game, but what an effort. With a lot of pressure on him yesterday.
He's rocking.
Rocking and relaxing.
And Helton, as he has matured toward 40, more and more able to go to left field for his base hits. Looked as if that's what he had in mind there.
Well, being in the same uniform as Todd Helton, he would come out of his shoes and hit the ball to right field foul. And he'd take a changeup, much like Kadire would do, right down the left field line. That's how you know he understands how to hit. Very impressive.
1 and 2. Spoils that pitch. 96 is a little extra from Andrew Kashner.
Well, in his youthful days, he probably grunted that pitch. Now, fighting bat speed as the years pound on, but Todd Helton understands what he can do and what he can't do. Knows his strengths.
2 outs. LeMahieu at second. Kadire at first. They're going, and the throw to third base, and he is out of there. What a throw by Nick Hundley, right on the bag. And LeMahieu tagged himself out. Hundley had it in the perfect spot. This is a strike from Hundley. By Toyota. Everett Cabrera leads it off with Denorfia, then Chase Headley, Carlos Quinton in the cleanup spot. Jesus Guzman hits in front of Kyle Blanks. Logan Forsythe back as a starter at second, batting seventh, then Hundley and Keshner. And the Colorado Rockies defense sets up this way with Gonzalez. He has 9 assists. That's tied for the National League lead. Blackman in center, Kadire in right. Arenado and Helton at the corners. Herrera and LeMahieu the double play combo. Yorvit Torrealba behind the plate for De La Rosa.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Jorge De La Rosa. For the love of elevation, you have to elevate all of his pitches. If he's living on the knees, it's going to be a tough night for the Padres. Also runs early for the Pods. They did it last night. They didn't score too many runs, but that was a big run.
De La Rosa has been hot. He's won 5 in a row against San Diego. On the season 8-5 overall and a good ERA of 3.19. Cabrera batting right-handed, the best average against left-handed pitching in the National League, hitting .396, 100 points higher than his overall mark of .294. Everett last night, single and a double, scored one of the runs. Ball 1.
You see the pitch by De La Rosa. It's fastball, change, slider, and curveball. And the change is actually a split change. You'll get that tumbling action. But he calls it a change and has a split grip. That's the difference.
Way outside. Fastball again. 2-0. Has a little herky-jerky motion.
At times he'll pause at the top of his motion just to try to change the timing of hitters. You won't see that too many times, but enough.
High strike. 2-1 to the Padres representative to the All-Star game.
Let's take a look at this motion right here. Pause, just a slight pause at the top. That'll change the timing of the Padre hitters. He doesn't do it all the time. He mixes and matches. That's a veteran pitcher.
Ground ball sharply, but right at the shortstop, and Herrera throws out Cabrera. So that would be a ground ball to the shortstop. His number is 6, across to the first baseman, number 3. A lot easier than having to write out the name of the player, or SS to 1B, shortstop to first base, 6-3 put up. We got a fan keeping score with us. Looks like Sam Liederkrantz is here tonight. Excellent score. Denorfia takes ball 1.
You might see a patient approach early in the ball game, especially without runners in scoring position from the Padres. Try to drive up that pitch count.
It's over but low, 2-0. De La Rosa, native of Nuevo León, Mexico, Monterrey area. And 11 years ago, he had the good fortune of playing in the Mexican League with none other than Fernando Valenzuela. Now, how's that for having a left-handed pitcher, a mentor for you as a young aspiring lefty?
It's a great example.
Fernando, that little twerk of his, looking up at the sky and closing his eyes. That's in there, 3-1.
Those left-handed pitchers are very quirky. You got one that's managing San Diego Padres.
Oh, you're going to call him a quirk?
And I like it. It's a compliment to me. I'm a left-hander.
Oh, okay. And ball 4. Ball gets away from catcher Torrealba, but no chance for Denorfia to go any farther. So here's how I'm scoring so far. Cabrera leads off, grounds out short to first. Chris Denorfia just walked. I put a 1 there. That's the first one. I'll keep my total walks in that manner. So here comes Chase Headley, hitting .227, 7 home runs, 29 runs batted in. He's stolen 5 bases, and over here, hitting right-handed, .240. Headley. He's had a tough series. Lots of opportunity, not able to come through with that big hit. A couple of times with the bases loaded. Takes a strike.
Well, when you struggle, you start tinkering. Sometimes that can be a quick fix, but can also put you in a bigger slump. So you have to battle that. And plus, everyone always talks about mentally challenging when you go through struggles, especially when you're expected. And those expectations were because of last year's second half. Tremendous second half.
Fouls that out of play. Has maintained his demeanor, knowing that he's the most disappointed of all at his start this year, his first half of the season. But for the first time last night, we saw him in the dugout with his head in his hands.
This game will do it to you, Dick, and it's very frustrating. There's no one that's going to be more critical than Chase Headley. And the way I respect him is he goes out and shows up every single day.
It hasn't affected his defense a bit. Denorfia takes his lead, and that ball almost hit Headley. 1-2 the count. Now let's take a look at Denorfia. As you were visiting with Dave Roberts, the first base coach, about taking a lead. He takes kind of an awkward position, almost like a hitter with a wide open stance. He opens up that right side when he takes his lead.
Yeah, and it's a comfort. And then the reason for it, Dave Roberts, as we just saw, is the base running instructor for the San Diego Padres. He puts a lot of time and energy into it, but it's a comfort when you get to that stance. Some people will open that right hip because they want to drive that right side, and it's also.
There's a line drive to center, charged by center fielder Blackman, and that's a base hit for Headley. Moving into second is Denorfia. Didn't hit it hard, but able to drop that in front of the center fielder, and those feel good as well.
Well, with a tough night last night, what you have to do is get in, stay inside, and good for Chase Headley getting that foot down. Much better swing from the right side right now, but what a good feeling, and that's a single as we're scoring in our books.
See, I don't put 1B. I just put an arrow to center field, indicating that the single went to center field. So on the play, the Denorfia moves to second base, and that puts 2 men on for Carlos Quinton. Quinton with 10 home runs, tied with Venable for the club lead. Takes ball 1. As you mentioned, Mark Sweeney, that taking the early lead plays so importantly in the final outcome of the game, or conversely, if you don't take the lead early, because when the Padres are outscored early, they've won only 16 times. The other team 37, 21 more wins when they score first.
And we just saw the man that wants to benefit from that.
Line, but right at the left fielder Gonzalez. You can't hit it much harder, but close line out for Carlos Quinton.
Well, that's frustrating for Carlos Quinton, as you could see, but what a swing. Putting the barrel on the baseball. There's nothing you can do. They've been playing out there for a long time. If you keep squaring those balls up like that, you're going to have a lot of success. Good swing by Carlos.
Brings up first baseman Jesus Guzman. .244 average. So in my book, I don't just put 7 for an out to the left fielder, because that could be any kind of an out. It was a L7, a line drive out. Guzman has had some big hits in the last couple of weeks and has earned almost a daily start from Bud Black.
And it's important for Jesus Guzman to get that timing. He's made some adjustments, especially with his lower half. He used to have a big leg kick. Now he's almost toe tapping with that coil on the lower half. I think timing wise, it's felt very good for him. But bottom line, Jesus Guzman knows how to hit.
Benorfi at second and Headley at first with 2 outs. Torrealba boxing that one. 1-1 the count.
Well, you look at the at bats and you can see as the fans continue to score, which I love, but you can see the Padres, what they're looking for. They're looking for that ball elevated. Anything that starts low, they see that movement. It's down out of the strike zone. They're going to get some hitters counts.
It was off speed. Slider, down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Torrealba, part of that successful 2010 Padre team. So he knows these San Diego hitters and friends of many. And another ball smothered. That pitch low and in. That's a fastball. Good location.
Well, you can see the movement down in the zone, but with 2 strikes, you got to protect.
Well, the Giants come to town tomorrow night, Friday night, Saturday night, all 7 o'clock games, and then 1 o'clock Sunday. I know a lot of you have already purchased your tickets. Expect some big crowds to see the defending world champions, even though they've had a sluggish month of June and July. In fact, they've lost 9 of their last 11 and some tough losses. Lost to the Mets in 16 innings a couple of nights ago, and then Marlon Byrd hit a grand slam late last night to beat him.
Well, if you look at this division, it's been crazy this whole first half, and no one is out of it. I like that. Some people say, well, it's been poor baseball. Well, it's all about teams beating on each other in the division.
Struck him out. Goes low and away with a fastball. So the Rockies lead 2 in their half of the first. The Padres strand 2.
Alonso continues his rehab assignment tonight in Tucson, going 4 for 4 in his second game last night. Bud Black not giving a concrete timetable, but said he just wants to see him get a few more at-bats. Keep in mind, Yonder has been out of baseball play now for 5 weeks. But starting his rehab assignment tonight in Lake Elsinore is Jed Jerko. And Buddy said you might see Jed join Yonder in AAA Tucson later this week. And if you keep your fingers crossed, guys, he said they may both join the team here in San Diego before the All-Star break. So wouldn't that be good news for the Padres?
Indeed. Thank you for that good report, Kelly.
Yeah, Dick, it's all about at-bats, and I think they don't want to push Yonder. Been out those 5 weeks like Kelly talked about. It's a lot of time. It's almost like you're starting off spring training again.
You could make an argument for having both Yonder and Jerko play through the All-Star break and then come back after Thursday or Friday after the break and get more. That would mean 4 more games that they could be playing in, and instead of resting in the hiatus for the All-Star game.
Yeah, just for the fans out there, 4 for 4 doesn't translate that you're locked in. Yes, they were hits, but you don't know what type of hits they were. They're very cautious about that, and yes, they want to get them up here. They want to get them playing. But it's all about at-bats and timing. And for Jerko, he has to show that his groin's okay.
Belton, who was up when the Rockies tried the double steal and Hundley threw out LeMahieu at third, this time doesn't see a strike, and on 4 pitches he's aboard. A leadoff walk for the Rockies in the second. That walk is his 1,318th walk. That moves him past Mark McGwire, number 39 all time.
Well, he's starting to talk about some greats in the game, and then the debate happens. Is he a Hall of Famer or not? Yes, he's played in Colorado. He's one of the best hitters I've ever been around and watching in the same uniform. He impresses you day in and day out.
Nolan Arenado, the third baseman. He goes around.
Great movement on that fastball by Andrew Kashner. 94 with movement down and in.
That should be against the law to throw that fast and then have that kind of movement as well.
Well, it's the movement that confuses the hitters. It stays off the barrel. That's the challenge.
Outside target and strikes him out. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball off the outside edge. Second strikeout for Kashner.
You talk about not fair. Down and in with movement 94 and then elevated down and away as Nick Hundley squeezes that foul tip. Power fastball by Andrew Kashner. You've seen more velocity tonight.
Brings up your feet, Torrealba. You saw that very interesting statistic Sean Lyon, our master of the numbers, put together the fact that you don't have to strike out everyone to have more success, and Kashner striking out only about half as many batters as last year, but his record is better.
Well, I think he's learned how to pitch, be more economical. I think the changeup adds to that. When you're pitching out of the bullpen and you can power a fastball in triple digits, that's what I'm going to go to, because I know I can only throw 1 inning, possibly the next. But Andrew Kashner's learned how to conserve his energy and know how to pitch and win ball games.
Kashner struck out an average of 10 per 9 innings last year, but less than 6 this year. Pitching to contact, as they say, which isn't a bad thing. 1-1 to Torrealba, having a good season at 290. Lines that one into left field, into the corner. Hilton, not great speed, hustling around second to third as Quentin gets it in. That's a stand-up double for Torrealba. And the Rockies threaten again. 2 men on in scoring position now with 1 out.
Well, an elevated changeup. You can see it flattens out. Makes it a lot easier for the hitter to turn and burn on that. They're hunting that fastball, and then they see that almost BP changeup. It's elevated.
So I rule that, here's how I score the double. 2 line drive arrows to left field. So it's a line drive double to the left field corner in my books. And the Hilton, who walked, is over at third base. Jonathan Herrera, the switch hitting infielder, playing shortstop, as the Rockies are eager to welcome back Troy Tulowitzki. He's close. Fractured rib that's taken him out of the lineup for more than a month. That is a loss. And Dexter Fowler is hitting about 800 against the Padres.
Well, he's expected to be activated tomorrow in L.A. That's okay with us.
Go get
Troy
him.
Tulowitzki possibly this weekend up in L.A.
Dodgers are in Arizona tonight. They won the first 2 games of that 3-game series. Just did get a piece to stay alive. This is the spot where Cashner and Hundley are thinking strikeout with men at second and third, 1 out.
Well, he turned up the dial. He's been hurt with 2 changeups tonight. He's turning up the dial on that fastball. He's got a power fastball tonight.
The changeup did speed the bat of Torrealba for the double. That ball hit well to center field. That'll get a run home. Denorfia tagging is Helton, and he comes in with the first run of the game. It's 1-0 Colorado. Herrera delivers a sacrifice fly. '11th run batted in for Jonathan Herrera. Leadoff walk, comes around to score.
Well, let's take a look at this nice piece of hitting by Herrera, but credit Chris Denorfia driving back so you can stay behind the baseball. All those young players out there, you got to stay behind the baseball as an outfielder. That's why Torrealba's back at second base. The little things in baseball.
Pitcher De La Rosa, not much of a hitter. He has a couple of hits and 30 at bats. So the leadoff walk, Torrealba's 1-out double, and Herrera getting the run home on the sacrifice fly. 0-2. In the series opener, won by the Rockies 4-2, a couple of leadoff walks became runs, and that was the difference in the game. Struck him out, but the Rockies on 1 hit, a double by Torrealba, get that leadoff man around Helton, and it's 1-0 Colorado.
Who will win the NL final vote? Hashtag ASG Desmond, hashtag ASG Freeman, hashtag ASG Gonzalez, hashtag ASG Pence, hashtag ASG Puig. You can cast your official vote on MLB.com through 4 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. And remember, fans, The 2013 Major League All-Star Game live from New York, July 16th, only on Fox.
So the balloting will close here in San Diego at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Hope you're making your presence felt. That's a very important decision. One of those 5 outstanding players, only one.
And your thoughts?
Will make it to the All-Star Game. I would like to see Puig. I mean, they're all deserving.
Yes.
I mean, his performance of just a month and a half has been just astounding. And you know, Adrian Gonzalez, I could vote for him very easily just because my heart would be there. He's San Diego, even though he doesn't wear a Padre uniform.
And with injuries that happen, you know, some of those guys, maybe 2, maybe 3 guys on even that list will make it. It'll be interesting to see how that vote comes.
Kyle Blanks leads off for the Padres, second inning. 1-0 Colorado. Blanks, the club leader in RBIs. And a ground ball to the left side. Herrera. Blanks hustling up the line, out by a stride. Well, different horses for different courses. Now here's Mike Tompkins. He's the Padres video coordinator, and he has to score so that he can go back to his video machine if a player wants to come in and say, how did I look in my first at bat? So look at Cabrera up there. He's got what, 7.29 it looks like. He grounds out to short over on the right hand side of the vertical line, and that's a code of his own.
Yeah, and he needs another code. It's all time stamped, and you know what? For Mike Tompkins, it's all about the video and getting it ready as soon as possible. And what an outstanding job he does down there in the locker room. These guys are constantly watching their videos.
Forsythe. Let's go back with Max Michalak, our producer. Let's see, the 7. Is it a 29 or what? 24? Can't read his writing. See, 7:26, 7:28. It's the time of the day, so he's got it. He can go back and say, well, it's 7:28, and he can roll his machine to that time. He's got that on his machine and come up with the exact pitch right away. Well, he has a different need, so he'll have 7:44 on the pitch coming up here from De La Rosa to Forsythe. 2-1 the count. Keeping him off balance. De La Rosa, that's his style.
And for the video guy, Mike Tompkins, it's all about the players, too. The hitting coaches, Alonzo Powell, Phil Plantier, they go in there in between innings. We'll ask Mike, can you pull this up? Can you put out this last swing? Instantly, Mike understands in that video room, and what a great process. But it's a huge learning tool, and it helps these players from a bat to a bat.
Forsythe goes down swinging. Second strikeout, De La Rosa. And a K in the book of that fan. K because strike out has a K in it, and you already have sac fly, sacrifice bunt,
a lot of S's.
Stolen base. So way back when they decided to use K for the symbol for strikeout.
Well, the conversations in game. Phil Plantier, Alonzo Powell do an outstanding job with their hitters. A lot of it mental preparation, staying on point, constant communications.
Headley with the Padres' only hit thus far. 2 outs to Nick Hundley. And 2-0 the count.
Can't say enough about this coaching staff. Keeping this team positive, tirelessly working.
They'll scramble to find any way to help a player and the team win a game. Deep at third is Arenado, and he throws it away. And that one went into the crowd, so Hundley will go on to second base. A 2-base error by the reliable young third baseman Arenado, who was pushed to the foul line deep at third, tried to get a little extra on it, and he airmailed it into the crowd.
Credit Nick Hundley getting out of the box. He rolls this over. I think Arenado takes a little bit of time, wants to show off his arm. Heads up in the second and third row. He's got a strong arm.
So the Padres E5 And then Hundley goes to second base on the overthrow. And that's how I do it. E5, and now he's on second base. Same play. 2 outs. And Cashner, who can handle that bat, tries to bunt his way on. He's the leading Padre hitter on the pitching staff with 7 base hits and a .280 average. Chance to help himself. Got a couple of RBIs. And remember that winning pinch hit single against San Francisco back in June.
Can also run. Very good athlete. Why not pick on the guy that just launched it in the stands?
Does Edinson Volquez ever not smile?
Very infectious smile.
Ground ball to short. Herrera. Oh, Cashner almost beating that out. He can hurry up the line. But the Padres, despite the error by Arenado, come up empty. 1-0 Colorado going to the third. Ron Roberts, former councilman, involved in keeping score. You see, everyone's got their own system. As we welcome you back to Petco Park, top of the third inning, and Andrew Cashner battling Jorge De La Rosa. Top of the third, top of the order for Charles Blackmon. So we now go to the third inning. Blackmon lined out to left field his first time. And then at the bottom, you total it up. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, man left in the first inning. Rocky scored a run on just 1 hit, no errors, and left 1 in the second. And we got Mark Sweeney. We even got notes on Sweeney here.
Oh,
but I'm not going to show them to you.
Don't do that. That's an impressive book, I'm telling you. I got baby steps going on over here.
Blackmon takes a strike. One of the notes is that you were involved in a trade once that had Phil Plantier going the other way.
Oh, yes. We have a connection.
One and one to Blackmon. LeMahieu and then Gonzalez here in the Rockies' third. Rockies are 9-3 against the Padres so far this year. They've split the first 2 games of this series. Started well for Colorado. They swept the Padres early in April at Coors and then came here and won all 3 games. Cashner and company trying to change that tonight, win this series. Pulled to the right side. Forsythe over to Guzman, 1 away.
Let's take a look at the rookie book. And I'm proud to say it. I am learning on the go, and the reason for it, I want to be neat. And as you can see, there's not a lot of notes around. My notes are all scrambled all over the place, but I am really trying to.
Let's go over on the Colorado side there. How did you note the run that they scored in the second inning?
You can see right here the leadoff walk, then the K, and then you got the double. So first and third, then I have an RBI for Herrera down here. And I am still learning.
Well,
and I'm proud to say that. It's actually a challenge.
It's good, though.
And I love it.
Yeah, I do, too. It's it enhances the involvement of anyone, whether you're a fan or a broadcaster. You're now invested into the game.
Well, I'm impressed with your notes. I don't have those. That is very impressive.
Well, you try to find a few items that, in case the game is lopsided and drudges along, that you can go off with some trivia or some history or some humor. LeMahieu taking that 3-0 pitch, 3-1. Singled up the middle his first time. Lined again. LeMahieu was 0 for 9 first 2 games of the series, but 2 for 2 tonight. Takes a big turn, and good thing he didn't try to go, as Quentin had a perfect one-hop throw into second.
I see the elevated pitch again. Turning on that pitch. Swing by LeMahieu. That drive with the lower half. That stays through that off-speed pitch. Enables him to pull the ball correctly.
Brings up Carlos Gonzalez. Struck out for the 100th time this season in the first inning. But he leads in runs, hits, doubles, triples, leads the National League in home runs and extra base hits and slugging percentage.
Well, Mark Loretta down near the dugout. Mark, I know you and your dad went to games when you were younger. Do you score when you were going to games?
Yeah, I learned how to score pretty early. Actually, my mom taught me to keep score. She was into that, but it's an art form, no question about it. It's not easy.
I apologize to your mom. I don't want to take anything away from her. What a wonderful lady.
The scorebook that Mom kept on Loretta's career had a lot of those.
A lot of hits, a lot of doubles.
Singles, doubles, yeah. A 300 hitter.
Man, could low play.
Easy swing.
Wow. Loved it.
Used the whole field.
You know, I call Mark Loretta Tom Amansky. He did everything right. Don't you think, Lo?
The old videos?
Yeah, Tom Amansky did everything correctly, and it could be a Mark Loretta video.
Well, I was short on tools, Swain, so
the
I
only thing
I little things.
Yeah, the only thing, Lo, is the base running. I know you're a good base runner, but it's all about speed on the base paths.
Well, you know, I wasn't gifted with great speed like you, Swain.
No, I couldn't either. I'm on that same side.
Takes it low, 1-2. So did you go to Northwestern on a baseball scholarship?
I did, Dick. Yeah, I went. I was 25% scholarship my first year and worked it up to a full my senior year. So
well, that last pitch looked like a pretty good strike, and Gonzalez got the call.
Ooh.
Who was the dominant Big Ten team in your collegiate career?
When I was there, it was Michigan and Minnesota. They tend to be kind of the powerhouses in the Big Ten. Ohio State also had a pretty good team. We were middle of the pack. We came in third one year, fourth another year.
Let's take a look at this foul ball.
Coming right at the camera.
At Jimmy G. Ooh. Heads up, Jimmy.
1-2 to Cargo. And fouls it away.
Well, Mark, watching Carlos Gonzalez, it looks like Andrew Castro's pounding that fastball in, trying to test that finger, that lower hand.
Yeah, that was a nice 9-1-1 hack right there, Swains. After that changeup, threw that 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and he was able to foul it off.
Up high, 911 hack. In other words, an emergency.
That's right.
I like it.
Put that in your scoreboard, Dad.
Staying alive, staying alive. I'm writing it in there.
911. Yeah, that's a good one.
I'll take full credit for it about a month from now. Two and two to a dangerous left-handed hitter, and he backs away from a breaking ball. Full count now to Gonzalez with Cuddyer on deck. 1-0 Rockies, top of the third. Mark Loretta with us down at field side. Mark Sweeney up here in our Fox Sports San Diego booth. Mark Grant, feet up on the table there. There goes the runner. And he hits it to the second baseman. Stays out of the double play. Forsythe throws out Gonzalez, but by sending the runner LeMahieu, that might have been a double play. So 2 outs. LeMahieu at second for Cuddyer, who singled to right field his first time. Heavy fastball.
Yeah, he's getting that arm action. I always say arm run and arm sink. Well, that's on his right side, and you can see he's very comfortable throwing that sinker to righties.
Cuddyer, a 27-game hitting streak earlier. Takes a strike.
See that fastball when he goes to the glove side tends to go side to side more than downward. He still has that velocity. Velocity plus movement can get a lot of hitters out.
Native Texan, grew up idolizing the great Nolan Ryan. Foul back, and he's ahead of Cuddyer 1-2.
This sinker down and in. Opens up so many options if you're a pitcher.
Where's Ryan's number? 34. Two and two, Cuddyer. LeMahieu at second with 2 outs, and the Rockies have a 1-0 lead early. Breaking ball misses.
That sinker in.
Might have gone after ball 4. Well, this season for Cuddyer is his best in the big leagues. All those years in Minnesota, he never hit above 284. Twice hit 284. Had 32 home runs back in 2009, but this is an exceptional presentation by Cuddyer this year. And he takes ball 4. Cashner thought he had him struck out. Second walk. Let's go back and take another look.
Well, let's look at the movement on that glove side. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Nick Hundley stuck it. He wanted it.
Darren Bowlesley makes a visit.
Well, there's the hitting coach for the Rockies, Dante Bichette. What a huge influence he has had on these Rockies hitters. His style is all about getting after it until you get 2 strikes. Then you got to put it in play, not to shorten your swing so much that you're going to take away from your strengths, but a huge influence, and that's probably the reason why Michael Cuddyer is seeing those numbers creep up. Got to give credit to Michael Cuddyer. He's the one swinging the bat. You got to have a good influence, and you buy into that philosophy.
So the Rockies, for the 3rd straight inning, have 2 base runners. LeMahieu with a 1-out single. Now Cuddyer the walk. 2 outs to Todd Hilton. He walked to lead off the second and came around to score the game's only run thus far. Change up out in front. That's out of play. Well, from personal experience, both as a kid and as a parent, divorces are not a good thing. They leave indelible burns on the people in the family. They're not good for baseball either. Padres, as an example, drafted Helton first, but he didn't sign because his parents were going through a divorce and he wanted to stay close to home to his parents, so he decided to go to the University of Tennessee. And there's a ground ball up the middle. Seeing eye single, racing around third. LeMahieu, throw to third. They get Kadire trying to take the extra 90 feet. So the second out made at third base tonight. The run did score. LeMahieu comes in. Helton with the RBI. 2-0 Colorado.
Who is a Padres member in Section 111, and he is a scorekeeper now for how many years, Dave?
Boy, since the early 80s, over 30 years.
And how did you learn this process, and what is your own that you like to do in the book?
Well, I grew up with not only Dick Enberg, but Joe Garagiola, Tony Kubek on the Game of the Week on NBC in the early 80s, and sat home and scored every Saturday game. And actually today I'm breaking in a brand new half-liner scorecard, which is a kind of a half-size scorebook, so I'm enjoying it.
Absolutely. And why do you choose to do this during the game? I mean, it makes it more interesting for you?
Absolutely. It keeps me connected to the game and not distracted, so it's just a lot of fun, and even going through the game, watching back what happened.
Thank you so much, Dave. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Kelly.
There you go, guys.
Well,
all over the place, keeping score, people.
Yeah. Dave has the same philosophy we do. We get connected, invested. And somebody next to you says, hey, how did Joe do in the fourth inning? Well, he says, yeah, I got it right here. Grounded to third.
I'm up for all kinds of ideas. Different colors.
Well, I'm starting to use, that's something new I'm doing this year, using a red pen to indicate hits going back to that inning. This way I know immediately how many hits a man had. LeMahieu has 2, Kadire 1, Helton 1. And then if it's an RBI, I go over here and I mark on my right column here. I can go there and say there are the 2 RBIs. So very quickly, important elements of the game, hits and RBIs, I can look quickly the left-hand column, right-hand column, and give you the information. Now that last play in the top half of the inning was a little dicey, wasn't it? So you had a ground out Blockman, a single LeMahieu to left, then a ground out to second base for Gonzalez, then the walk to Kadire, And then the RBI single, the wiggle line means it was a ground ball single to center. The dot means it was an RBI. And on the play, 8-5, the throw out of Kadair at third base. Got it?
Sure. Sure, I got that.
We'll test you in the post-game show. Cabrera works the count full. Padres need some base runners here. They trail early 2-0. Cabrera grounded to short his first time.
Is this a pass-fail course?
I hadn't realized that you take it for granted when you've done it so many times, but it is a lot of fun. Another chance for Herrera. He's been busy at short. And twice Cabrera to his counterpart. Now the Rockies grounding out. Well, he's a ground ball pitcher, De La Rosa, and he's got it working so far. Beat the Padres back in April here, 2-1 did De La Rosa. Chris Denorfia walked the first time. Padres have 3 base runners so far. Denorfia walked and Headley singled in the first, and safe on an error by the third baseman Arenado was Hundley in the second.
Well, it's all about capitalizing for mistakes for the Padres. They look for that ball elevated.
Another ground ball. Arenado showing that solid arm of his, although it was wild the last time. 2 away. That's 5 ground ball outs so far. De La Rosa. Headley single center field. The only Padre base hit off De La Rosa. This is interesting. The dance, if you will, between De La Rosa, who gives that little hesitation and then goes up with the knee again, and Headley, who's kind of timing his leg kick. So
exactly. And we talk about the timing aspects of hitting, and that makes it very difficult when you have that little slight pause.
And a line drive, but it's right at Blackman in center field. Well hit by Headley. Padres go in order in the third. 2-0 Rockies at Petco. By your San Diego County Lexus dealer, who invite you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent, 888-96. Farmers. Cashner a quick worker, and here we go in the 4th inning. It'll be Arenado, Torrealba, and Herrera for the Rockies, leading 2-0. Sharply hit and through the hole. A base hit for Arenado. That's 6 hits already for the Rockies. Brings up Torrealba, who doubled his first time.
Take a look at this fastball with movement down in the zone. Good pitcher's pitch. Credit Arenado for just finding a hole. 62 pitches for Andrew Cashner tonight and had 7 of 15 hitters, 0-2 counts. Having a tough time putting them away.
Torrealba was down in the count 0-2 and then got a changeup instead of 2 fastballs that were strikes and ripped it into left field for a double.
Mark Loretta down near the dugout. What are you seeing from Cashner tonight?
I agree with you, Mark. I think he's having a tough time putting hitters away. He's leaving some of his off-speed stuff up in the zone and not being able to finish it down low. But Arenado there just found a hole, like you said. That's something you can't really avoid.
Final in, the Giants apparently played this afternoon and lost to the Mets again 7-2. So the Mets swept the Giants in San Francisco. So that won't be a very happy lot coming down here to Petco tomorrow night, losing 10 of their last 12. Padres with a chance to move ahead of them in the National League West if they can win tonight. And the same hole is inviting, and Torrealba shoots one through. A couple of singles through the 5.5 hole. No one out, 2 on for the Rockies here in the 4th. Torrealba with 2 hits.
Well, finding holes. Just talked about it with the previous hitter. You can see that awkward swing, fighting that ball off and finding a hole. There's a lot of luck involved with hitting at times.
That's what you call pulling your hands in swing right there, staying inside the baseball. Nice job of hitting right there. Good pitch. And just like you said, lucky hole there.
The ball's hit 10 feet to the left or right, and it's a double play instead of a single.
Well, you see those hands, even taking the top hand off the bat. Sometimes you have to, and that pitch indicates that.
This is the 4th consecutive inning they've had at least 2 base runners. Herrera knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 2nd. That brought Hilton home. Torrealba, after Hilton walked to lead off the inning, it doubled him to 3rd and came in on a deep fly. Herrera.
I wanted to ask you, Mark Loretta, did you care about how guys with plus velocity, much like Andrew Cashner?
You know, of course, velocity is always tough to hit, but it's all about location as well. If you can use that velocity and movement and locate it, those 3 things are pretty devastating. Tonight, Cash has been a little bit off on his location.
Foul back, and how about as a hitter having to face a flamethrower?
Well, I think just like Torrealba did there, I think he was almost looking off speed and adjusting to the fastball. He pulled his hands in there, and for me, that's really what hitting is all about: being able to manipulate the barrel and try and find a hole. Line drive down.
Couple runners on, no one out, and another foul back. Still got the velocity, 96. But the 70th pitch coming up, and he's been able to get only 9 outs so far. Left field, Quinton toward the line. Runners tag, but no advance. 1 away.
The countdown to opening day at Del Mar is underway. Tune in as Fox Sports San Diego broadcasts live from the paddock. Don't miss the hats and the horses at Del Mar's biggest race day of the season, Wednesday, July 17th at 12:30, right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Hey, got it marked on my calendar. 1 week from today, the opening day where the turf meets the surf at beautiful Del Mar.
Well, Mark Loretta, a big horse fan. You excited for that, Mark?
You're right. That's quite a spectacle opening day with the hats and the packed crowd there. I think it's during the All-Star break, too, and the guys maybe shoot over there.
Great timing.
I'm going to wait for Thursday when all that crowd goes away and just the horse players come out.
That's a veteran.
De La Rosa squares the throw back to second. They got the runner. No, he's going to steal third. So Arenado, when he saw the throw going to second base, just took off for third. And the play backfires. Hundley thought he had him picked off.
Well, just the bait and switch, and you could see Chase Headley charging, and he baits Nick Hundley into throwing to second base. Very smart by the rookie. Mark Loretta, you've been at third base before. Difficult play on that charge from the bunt.
Yeah, it really is. And also, I don't know whether Arenado was trying to bait him there, but I don't know why guys don't do that more, Swain. So that's a tough play for the catcher to read. You can basically walk into third if you go right when he throws it.
The bunt is foul. And that was not a safety squeeze, more just trying to get the runner at first base, Torrealba, over to second. Take their chances with the leadoff hitter Blackman on deck. So first and third. Stolen base for Arenado. His first stolen base of the season, by the way. Well, that was a surprise play. Rockies chipping away at that scoreboard, a run in the second, a run in the third, and now with first and third occupied, a chance with the pitcher up to get even a third run. 0-2. De La Rosa struck out the first time. And he fouls it back, strike three. Fourth strikeout for Andrew Cashner, and in my book I have a K and the 4, which tells me now Cashner has 4 strikeouts, and the B, I'm reminded that it was on a bunt. He didn't swing, or he wasn't a C for a called strike or S for a swinging strike, but he struck out on a bunt. So 2 away. Charlie Blackman lined to left and grounded to second. We should have had one of those warning signs that could be dangerous to your health, you know, beware.
Oh, I definitely need that.
Blackman takes ball 1 outside. He's 0 for 7 in the series. Came up last year and raised some eyebrows in Denver with his power. Just 30 at bats coming in tonight and has 1 home run. To shortstop Cabrera. He'll go the long way, and the inning is over. So Cashner pitches out of trouble in the 4th, middle of the 4th. Carlos Quinton will lead it off. Padres need 2.
In and get it reviewed, because I think you should have got a hit there. And
Well, there have been many ways. We're showing you how to keep score. And the official score who makes the decisions. Was that a hit? Was that an error? Was that a stolen base? And he has to make that judgment. There's a whole guideline. Major League Baseball provides a guideline. For example, the difference between a wild pitch and a passed ball. If the ball hits the dirt in any way, even though it might seem like a fairly easy play for the catcher, if it hits the dirt, wild pitch.
Yeah, and there's so many scenarios. And I talked to the official scorer up in L.A. one night. He had a no-hitter and a swinging bunt that actually spun when it hit the grass, and he had to call it a hit or an error, and that's
tough.
That's a tough play, so very difficult. But they are in pressure situations, and you know what? There's a lot of things that happen in that dugout. Phone calls up to them. That's a lot of pressure.
In fact, they're in the news just this week. Chad Qualls down in Miami. Is it Miami or Houston that scored? But he felt that a ball that was ruled a hit was an error, so he called the official score, challenged it. They changed it, and that made the infielder, his teammate, upset that he had it reviewed.
It's not something you want to get into as a player. Let it go. They're not going to even out. You just have to deal with it.
Quentin line to left his first time. Guzman and blanks to follow. Padres need 2 to tie. We're in the 4th here at Petco. Only 1 hit so far off De La Rosa. That was Headley's single in the first inning. As was the case in game 1. A couple of line drives caught for outs. Quentin's and Headley last time up lined out. Spins that one to the top of the strike zone. 2-2.
You can see from our Fox tracks by Southland Technologies, he's looking at that ball up in the zone, constantly changing the way he's attacking these hitters. That's a veteran left-hander.
Slice down the right field line and foul against the facing of the box seats down there in the corner.
Dick, we always talk about the pitcher because he's delivering the pitch, but Yorvi Torrealba, that veteran catcher, he's the designated catcher for Jorge De La Rosa. They have a good chemistry together. They understand what they're going to do, how they're going to attack certain hitters. It's that chemistry between the pitcher and the catcher that always fascinates me.
Of course, they spend considerable time before the game or during the warm-up period going over the whole scouting report. Another foul, Quentin. Nice compact swing there with 2 strikes.
Good swing. I like when you see that ball going to right field. He takes that ball, and even though it goes foul, he's set up. Can pull his hands in with the best of them, down and in. You always hear Mark Grant talk about that. But when you're hitting the ball to right center and you're staying squared, good things are going to happen.
That'll make it into the box seats not even to the box seats, off the roof of the Padre dugout. Well, the whole hitting philosophy, I won't say whole, but summarizing the philosophy of Phil Plantier and Alonzo Powell, right center to left center. Think right center to left center. Don't think pulling the ball.
Yeah, it's a big part of the field, and I like that. If you think that way, it doesn't mean you have to hit it that way. It just keeps your body in that position. So it's all about hitting off the fastball. When you do that, good things happen. Start taking the fastballs for strikes. You get into pitchers' counts, makes it very difficult. There's some great talent out there, and they'll embarrass you when they get the time to do it.
And another foul. Good pitch there made by De La Rosa.
Good pitcher's pitch, and he'll shake his head because he knew he delivered that one with movement down and in. Carlos Quentin battling it off with a good swing. Just giving yourself more opportunities.
Part of the duel, sometimes the best swing is the one where you foul off the pitcher's good pitch. And that one bounces. 3-2.
Well, Mark Loretta down there, Jorge De La Rosa mixing and matching, changing the ways. Sometimes you have to hit off the catcher as well, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely, Swains. And that little hesitation that De La Rosa has kind of reminds me of Hideo Nomo a little bit, or how some of these Japanese pitchers pitch. It throws hitters off.
And then the changeup has Quinton way out in front. 3 strikeouts now for De La Rosa.
Well, exactly what Mark Loretta talked about, changing speeds, and then with the pitch as well. It's timing aspects that make it very difficult to hit in the big leagues.
10th pitch of that sequence, and De La Rosa prevails. Guzman struck out the first time. You can see why De La Rosa has been so tough on the Padres. 5-2 lifetime. He won earlier this year 2-1. Here at Petco, De La Rosa is 2-0. With a 1.42 ERA.
Well, Mark Loretta down near the dugout. Your approach against De La Rosa if you were in the batter's box?
You know, I'm just thinking up the middle swings and then try to adjust with where the pitch is. If it comes inside, try to pull it. If not, go to the right side. But, you know, he's got that 92 miles an hour fastball, too, so it's not like you can just sit totally off speed. That's what makes him effective.
Pulled just foul. Almost hit the bag at third. That one had 2 base hit written on it, but just foul.
Well, Mark, I know you had a standard stance that didn't have too many timing aspects in it, but guys with leg kicks, guys with, like Jesus Guzman does, timing that slight pause in De La Rosa's bat. That makes it very difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty new for him, too. I haven't seen that out of him very much, and I think he's pretty effective. You know, he's even varying the length of the pause as well. That one was a little bit longer, if you notice. So that's tricky. He's not going the same way every time.
Oh, you can take a look at this pause right at the top.
And he's been able to use it because the Padres haven't forced him to work out of the stretch much in the game thus far. 2-2 to Guzman. And he gets him. Is that split finger changeup?
It is, and it's a split finger grip, but he calls it a changeup. Look at the movement. You can see with his fingers split and that downward movement. Let's take a look at the motion. That little slight pause, that timing aspect. Very difficult for the hitters, but it might be mechanically getting him on line towards the plate.
So 2 strikeouts, Quinton and Guzman to open the inning. Here's blanks. And an excuse me swing and an easy play for De La Rosa, who has retired the side in order again. After 4 at Petco, 2-0 Colorado. And I hope you're enjoying our special feature, our theme tonight, keeping score of this great game of baseball. And through 4 innings, here are the totals. 2 runs, 7 hits, an error for Colorado. They've left 5 men on base, no runs, 1 single. Chase Headley, no errors, 3 stranded for the San Diego Padres. And so for me, just to make a notation, since De La Rosa's having a good string of outs, when it's a 3 up, 3 down inning, I put a 0 in a straight line. So immediately I see 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down the inning before. So how far has it been? Well, I went back and counted 12 hitters he's faced since the Headley hit, with the only man reaching was the error. And certainly that wasn't De La Rosa's fault. So he's been in total command in this game thus far. The only challenging inning was the first inning when Denorfia walked with 1 out and Headley singled.
Well, he's made an adjustment to the Padres. Now the Padres have to counter and make adjustments the other way.
LeMahieu 2 for 2 tonight. Singled up the middle and lined a single to left. Gonzalez and then Kadire to follow. Tried to go at that outside pitch and pull it. And Cashner's in front 1-2. Andrew has struck out 4. He's walked a couple. One of those walks a leadoff. Free ticket to Helton came around to score in the second, the first Rocky run. I don't know, was that a 9/11 hack or not, Colorado?
That was. It wasn't 411. It wasn't informational or emergency.
Ground ball deep in the hole. This will test Cabrera's arm. Off balance. Guzman, who's done a great job of digging out those short throws, unable to come up with that one. So, if you're the official score, is the error on Cabrera or on Guzman?
Well, I know Jesus Guzman's frustrated himself. But credit Everett Cabrera feeling this with a strong arm and that late action as a first baseman. And I've been over there just a little bit. You want to pick those. You want to give confidence to your infielders.
We're going to charge the error to Cabrera.
I think that's very similar to the pass ball versus wild pitch scenario. If it hits the ground, even if the first baseman feels like he should pick that 99 out of 100 times, it usually goes to the thrower.
That's well said. You know, it's makes the scoring a little easier. You're not quite so subjective if it hits the ground, even though fairly easy pick there for Guzman. That's why he's disappointed. But Cabrera gets the error. Gonzalez has struck out and grounded to second. The base traffic for Colorado. Ooh, that almost got Cashner. Luckily able to duck out of the way on a smash back to the box. And here it is again. First 2 men aboard for the Rockies.
Well, velocity wise on the changeup, pretty good. He breaks Carlos Gonzalez's bat. But it's the location with the changeups. Elevated in the strike zone. That ball's down. Probably another broken bat. Could be a double play.
But that's a dangerous play because Cashner is looking at the ball and then the bat piece flying off to his left, and you don't quite concentrate enough, and you're catching that line drive even with a broken bat in a dangerous spot.
You know, Mark Loretto, you've been an infielder in the middle infield, seeing a bat coming at you and trying to concentrate on a baseball. Tough thing.
Very difficult. Yeah, I've seen guys try to dance around it several times, but it's not easy. It's very unsettling.
So 2 on, no one out here in the 5th. 8 hits now for the Rockies. Kadire a single and a walk.
We've talked about this before, Swain, but it seems like those Maple bats really break differently than the Ash bats that we used to use. When Maple came in the game, it changed everything in terms of broken bats.
Yeah, a lot of barrels. Not just splintering. Yes, exactly. It's scary.
This could be 2, but Kadire runs well. There's 1. Cabrera has no play at first. It wasn't a clean exchange, a second to the shortstop, so Cabrera didn't waste the throw. First and third as Kadire safe at first on the fielder's choice. Gonzalez out 4-6.
Well, good pitch by Andrew Kashner. A tough turn. Didn't look like Everett Cabrera got it cleanly. And then he turns to third base in case LeMahieu turns around third base.
So their fielder's choice, FC, 4-6 on the putout. Looked like Cabrera for a moment reacted as if he didn't have contact with the bat when he took the throw. Hilton has walked and scored and knocked in the other run with a single to center field. So he's figured in both Colorado runs. And he's up there with a chance to add on. First and third, one out here in the Rockies' fifth.
Well, Mark Loretta, you've been in the middle of the infield all over the diamond. But your impressions of Everett Cabrera this year and what he's done?
He's been tremendous, Swains. I think he's the front runner for the Gold Glove there. But just going back to that last play, with a little more experience, I think you'll see Forsythe there charge it and go for the tag and try and get two. Kind of laid back a little bit on that and cost him double play chance.
Well, that's a split-second decision, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, you don't want to get caught in between. You want to make sure of one, but it looked like he had time to maybe charge it and get the lead runner with the tag and then get the force out at first base.
And that was a long underhand flip throw to the shortstop as well. It's kind of that in between. Do you throw overhand throw it with some velocity or not? And there's Hilton going after some heat, and that is a big K to put in your scorebook. A strikeout for Kashner with runners at first and third, getting the ever dangerous Hilton.
Well, Dick, when you talk about Andrew Kashner maturing as a starter, this is exactly the situation I'm talking about. You got a successful hitter in Todd Helton. The bat speed is definitely not there, and he elevates that fastball past Todd Helton. What a great pitch by Andrew Kashner at a big moment.
So with two outs, they can't get a run in on an out. Arenado, single and a strikeout. On top of all the talents in terms of power and batting average of Gonzalez and Kadire, they're both excellent base runners as well. In fact, Gonzalez erased on the fielder's choice, along with leading in all the power departments, 15 steals. And Kadire can steal you back. All the way to the screen. No play at the plate as Kashner comes down on the base runner LeMahieu, and there's the error coming around to score on the wild pitch. So that's a gift run for the Rockies. Error, single, fielder's choice, wild pitch.
He just unloads here. Very tough pitch. You can't block a fastball, especially out of the strike zone. That's just pulled on the glove side by Andrew Kashner.
And Hundley with that little underhand toss, and by that time Kadire, or LeMahieu rather, is in to score, and Kadire goes to second. One hopper, and Cabrera able to knock it down, pick it up, and throw out Nolan Arenado. But an unearned run for the Rockies in the top of the fifth, and they now lead 3-0. Now the Rockies have scored 3. Leadoff walk in the second, and he came around to score. Jonathan Herrera plating Helton 1-0, and then Helton in the third inning, a single back up the middle, and that made it 2-0. Cuddyer tried to advance to third, which is thrown out by Denorfia, and then an error, a single, a wild pitch. LeMahieu scoring for the second time tonight, and it's 3-0. And here's how that 5th inning looked in my book, and one that wish we had the eraser and take that one right out. E6 went to second on a single, third on a fielder's choice, scored on a wild pitch. Circle it in. That's how, there are various ways we mark the runs, but that's pretty quick way to look at the colored circles. There's the 3 runs for the Rockies tonight. So the Padres now with some work to do offensively, and Mr. Jorge De La Rosa has not been very accommodating thus far. Forsythe struck out the first time.
Well, much like Eric Stoltz last night, pitching with a lead, much easier for the left-hander Jorge De La Rosa.
Hundley and then Kastner to follow. He's 32 now, De La Rosa. It's a continuing story with so many pitchers. Tommy John surgery. He had his a couple of years ago. 2012 season was almost lost. Did get in a handful of starts at the end of last year, and here he comes back. He's 8-5, good ERA, 3.19.
Well, he looks totally healthy to me. That's a good sign if you're a Padre fan. Trying to go through Corey Lukey, Joe Whelan,
Casey Kelly.
Those steps that you have to make in a rehab process.
There's a leadoff walk from De La Rosa. Perhaps that'll open the door for the Padres. Only the second walk from the left-hander.
Well, Mark Loretta, good situation for Logan Forsythe, getting on with a leadoff walk. Get him in the stretch, right?
Absolutely. Let's see what he can do without that pause now in the motion.
Hundley safe on the throwing error by Arenado. 2-base error back in the second. So some people just put a W for walk. Base on balls, BB. It's a more common scoring. It's an old story, but it actually did happen to me back when I was doing the Angels. We were in Yankee Stadium, New York game, and Don Drysdale, we would trade innings. I'd do the first and second, he'd do the third and fourth. So the fourth inning, I'm going off to the men's room, and I come back, and I always took my scorebook with me because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. But I did miss a batter, and Phil Rizzuto, who was the Yankee announcer, was there in the hallway, and I said, Phil, how did Rick Reichert do? He said, and I look at his book, and he's got WW. I said, well, what's that? He said, wasn't watching. True story.
Oh, that is great.
Different scoring. Phil wasn't real serious about keeping score of the game. He was most concerned about getting out of there in the 7th inning and being home before the game was over. And that also is a fact.
Well,
he worked through the 7th. And
after every game, I'm just going to put rookie at the top. Work in progress.
Sometimes you want to put DW. Don't want to watch. Pedro Siriaco's on deck. 1-2 now to Hundley. A little off the mark for the first time as De La Rosa, as he's put Forsythe on with a second walk of the game.
Well, like Mark Loretta talked about, getting him in the stretch, getting him out of that comfort zone that he had the previous hitters. That makes a difference. You haven't done it in a while. These Padre hitters have to grind out at bats.
Ooh, close there. Didn't get the call, and Hundley has the count at 3-2. Yeah, look at De La Rosa. He thought he had a strikeout.
Yeah, the wry smile. Ron Copa, 14-year veteran behind the plate.
Yeah, still showing his dismay at that call. That was a strike according to Fox Tracks.
Nick Hundley will take it. Another opportunity. Got to capitalize.
Ooh, almost threw that one over Elton's head. Trailing 3-0. It would be surprising if Hundley did go, or if Forsythe would be going on this pitch. Hundley does strike out more than the average hitter. But let's see. No, he stays, and the ball fouled away.
Well, this might not even be a sign. It might be a communication between Bud Black and Dave Roberts, the first base coach. There's signals going to the third base coach and Glenn Hoffman to Dave Roberts. In this situation, 3-2 counts. You don't have to always steal. And usually when they stay, it's that strikeout opportunity. You can't get yourself out of a big inning.
Yeah, don't want the double play strikeout, throw them out. So 3-2 again, De La Rosa to Hundley. Don't have to answer right away, Mark Sweeney, but I'd like to ask you and Mark Loretta, as we get away from this, is kind of a critical spot. Who had the most complicated signs in your playing careers? Most of them can be very simple, but sometimes you make players think, and that can hurt the team. And he does go this time, and fouled off by Hundley.
Anyone come to your mind, Mark?
You know, trying to think about it a little bit. I remember early in my career in Milwaukee, Rich Dower was third base coach, and what usually ends up happening, Dick, is the signals, the signs start off kind of complicated, and then once too many guys miss them, then they become pretty easy.
That's exactly
because you don't
right.
want to miss them.
That's a good point. Simple works. I start with my hat, nothing's on. There's all kinds of variations.
Hold my arms, maybe it is on.
Exactly.
Line foul. Good cut at that one for Hundley.
And I'll give you an example. And Tony La Russa is the manager that I thought he would use his head trainer to give the steal signs. So if you were on first base or second base, you saw the trainer folding his arms, you were off and running. You had an opportunity to run. But it's those little things in the game that you have to try to keep them from the opposition.
Right.
Is that Barry Swains?
It was.
That's awesome.
3-2. Another foul. And a lot of it is just window dressing by the third base coach. He's touching his arm across the letters, hits the middle of the cap, claps his hands, whatever. All may mean nothing or everything.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I'd say at least 95% of the signals, Dick, are just bogus signs, trying to throw them off.
All right, 3-2 again. Hundley, a tough at bat, and earns the walk.
Yeah,
well done.
11 pitch at bat, outstanding by Nick Hundley.
That brings a tying run to the plate. De La Rosa thought he had Hundley struck out. Hundley got the call on that low strike. And so Forsythe and Hundley aboard on bases on balls, and that'll bring up a pinch hitter, Pedro Siriano. So Cashner's night is through. He works 5 innings. Now this is where, as a score in the official book, this starts to get more complicated, and why all of us go just a little bit wacky in spring training, because you have so many changes. Now when a pinch hitter comes into the game, and Mark Grant alluded to this earlier. So here's Pedro Siriano, and he's coming in the 5th inning. And so I know that it's a pinch hitter. I draw a mark here so I can separate Andrew Cashner, grounded to short. But now this will be Siriano's at bat. 2 walks in the inning. Siriaco, rather. So Siriaco there with a couple of walks. Chance for the Padres against the stingy De La Rosa, who's allowed only 1 hit, but a little upset in this inning, not getting a strike call. And that one's inside, not by much.
Well, what you got to fight as a pinch hitter is you want to sit on that fastball as much as possible, but you can see from De La Rosa hasn't been comfortable in the strike zone this inning. Almost take it a 2-0 count, right, Mark Loretta?
Absolutely. Threw him a 1-0 changeup. Interesting pitch there. Obviously saw Siriaco sitting dead red. But De La Rosa visibly shaken by that missed call by the umpire. He said it effective.
Good point.
Two on, no one out. The Padres trail 3-0 here in the 5th. Siriano almost hit as he squared the bunt. Now that's not, I'm guessing here, Mark Loretta, that was not a sign to sacrifice bunt, but that he was going to serve the purpose of a bunt or maybe beat out a bunt. Right. 2 for 1.
Yeah, Pedro, I think, saw the third base move it back, but I just noticed Buddy Black kind of clapping and say, hey, swing the bat. You're up there to hit, not to bunt, or else I'd have Cashner up there.
Very good. And he checks the swing, but goes around. Ron Culpa calls it a strike. 2-2.
Well, I think Pedro Siriaco thought he wanted to check, but Ron Culpa, the home plate umpire, called it a strike.
He went around anyway, so they got him both ways. Cabrera and then to Norfia. Forsythe and Hundley aboard in this 3-0 Colorado lead, last of the 5th. Got squeezed again. 3-2.
Continue to scrap. Padres hitters. Stay in the moment, pitch by pitch.
Well, that was clearly a ball. Well low. 22 pitches in the inning. And now 23 will be required of De La Rosa.
Go back to some solid at bats. Carlos Quinn, 10 pitch at bat, 11 pitch at bat for Nick Hundley. That wears on a pitcher. 80 pitches to this point.
Forsythe from second, Hundley from first with no one out, and 3-2. Siriaco. High fly ball deep to left. Back goes Gonzalez to the warning. A warning path, Gonzalez, and then fires that ball in. You don't dare tag from anything hit to left or with the arm of Gonzalez. Siriaco just missed that. He got a lot of it, but a little too high.
Well, let's go back to the sequence to Pedro Siriaco. The fastball in, misses. Then he goes changeup, tough pitch, pitching backwards. Then he fake bunts, and now the battle's on. It's a called strike by Ron Culpa. 3-2 count. Constantly battling. De La Rosa wins that battle, but nice at bat by Siriaco.
You're right, Mark Sweeney. You know as well as anybody how difficult that is coming off the bench. And that was a tremendous at bat. As a manager, that's all you can ask for a guy to put a good swing on a good pitch and just miss one.
Yeah, and you know, Mark, it's very frustrating making outs. Those are small battles that are victories when it comes to adding to that pitch total. That is a very difficult situation for Pedro Siriaco to be in.
Cabrera has grounded both times to the shortstop. He's had good success against the Rockies this year, hitting .327. And as we mentioned, the best hitter in the National League against left-handed pitching at this point.
What a
.396.
Amazing adjustment from the right side. Last year at times looked very uncomfortable from the right side. This year his concentration level has definitely risen.
High strike. Cabrera unhappy.
Well, the focus has been on Ron Culpa this whole inning from both sides. Got to get back into the moment. You got to concentrate on what your task is.
There's the evidence of his success, best in the league against lefties. Interesting, Dexter Fowler. And right on that list as well, number 3, injured. Fowler a switch hitter, as is Cabrera. Outside you could hear Culpa. And the inning continues. A lot of work for De La Rosa. 25 tosses so far. confirming that the count is 1-2. Padres need a base hit. They trail 3-0. High sign by Torrealba. Ground ball. Nice stop by De La Rosa. Then he throws to second. And is he out? Yes.
Wow.
I thought he left the base. Herrera. Hundley thought he was safe. Phil Cuzzy says no. And here comes Bud Black.
Yeah, I think Bud Black has an argument on this play. This throw sailed on De La Rosa. Let's take a look at how Herrera takes it. That left foot looks off the bag to me.
Sure does.
In real time, it looked like it.
See, the throw does yank him off the base. No question he's not on the base. And Black with an argument, but won't win that one. A break for the Rockies, 1st and 3rd now with 2 outs. And it's up to Chris Denorfia. That's a tough call. That's one of the really tough calls to make.
It's a tough call. You're looking at the foot.
You're listening for the sound.
Listen for the sound of the caught ball.
So Denorfia with 1st and 3rd, 2 out. Another angle.
This sails on De La Rosa.
He's throwing at the upslope of the mound. It's close. It is close. Almost a toe tap as Herrera goes up for the catch. The other angle looked more condemning for the umpire. Did not go. 1-1. Denorfia's walked and grounded to 3rd.
Crew chief Tom Hallion down at first base. Very experienced umpiring crew.
Forsythe at 3rd. Cabrera at 1st. 2 good base runners with 2 outs. There goes Cabrera. Swung on and missed by Denorfia, and the stolen base for Cabrera is number 32. His first since coming back from the disabled list as he continues to lead the National League. So a base hit equals 2 here for Denorfia, but the count 1 ball 2 strikes. Skips that delivery in. The ball's in his glove. Right. Now it looks like Phil Cuzzy made a good call. My goodness. From that other angle, it looked like he was off the bag.
These guys,
eyes of an eagle.
They do. They have trained eyes. On real speed, that did not look close.
No. 2-2 now. Pulled to the left side. Arenado across. And the Padres got a couple of leadoff walks, but can't take advantage. They lead 2 more, and it remains a 3-0 Colorado lead. San Diego is brought to you by Sequan, real friendly, real close. By Mossy Toyota. Summer temps are higher, but Mossy's prices are lower. Visit Mossy.com. And by the Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. Tim Stauffer comes in for Andrew Kastner. Kastner 5 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned, 8 hits, a couple of walks, and 5 strikeouts. Longest in seniority, Padres, Tim Stauffer. Making another relief appearance. Oh, by the way, some had thought that Stauffer might start. It was to be announced, the Friday game against the Giants. That has now been decided. Sean O'Sullivan, San Diego product, is going to be called up from Tucson and will get the start Friday night against the Giants.
He pitched well in spring training. Some thought he should have made the ball club. He's gone down there. He started every start down there in AAA. It's going to be exciting for him coming back to San Diego.
7-4 Tucson, 90 strikeouts in 102 innings for O'Sullivan. Went to Valhalla High School.
Get the pass list ready.
So I remember in spring training he has a terrific curveball. Stauffer to Torrealba. That one's going to sail near the dugout. Back a couple of rows. Torrealba has a single and a double, both pulled to left field. Herrera, and then the pitcher's spot. With that long inning, De La Rosa threw 31 pitches in the last of the 5th inning. Now has a total of 90. And a 3-0 Colorado lead as they try to take the 3rd game of this series. Weak swing and a miss by Torrealba. Breaking ball gets the Colorado catcher for the first out.
Well, baseball fans, this July, baseball's greatest stars gather for the biggest event of the summer. The Midsummer Classic returns to New York with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. It's the 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, live from New York, July 16th at 4:30 Pacific time, only on Fox.
It's next Tuesday. Good looking pitch there. Called a ball. 4:30 here in the West. That's a good looking bunt and a base hit. Herrera perfectly placed between Stauffer and Guzman. Forsythe tried to get over to help to cover first base, but that's just an absolutely perfect drag bunt.
Well, an ideal bunt, and you get it by the pitcher. Then the indecision of Jesus Guzman. Do I stay at first? Do I go after it? Perfect bunt. Credit Herrera for just putting that down in the greatest location you can as a bunt. I don't know about greatest, but it was a good one.
Yeah, you couldn't have rolled it out there much better. De La Rosa struck out both times. Takes a strike. Tried to bunt, tried to sacrifice in the 4th inning and fouled it away on strike 3 for the strikeout. Help out his own cause, get that man into scoring position. And a good bunt. Stauffer to Forsythe for the out. 2 away. Herrera into scoring position. Top of the order, Charlie Blackman. Blackman is lined out, grounded out twice. So here's how you might have scored. I use SAC and not just S, but that's fine. Sacrifice 1-4. Pitcher to the second baseman. That's the way I scored it. Sac 1-4. Moving the man who has a bunt single to second base after the strikeout swinging by Torrealba.
Well, Dick, the rookie over here uses SAC as well. I'm locked in.
I mean, once you get to your system, it doesn't matter if anyone else understands it or not, as long as you do.
And it's clean.
You are meticulous. Fastidious. The scorebook of Mark Sweeney.
Now check out this rookie. Is this terrible or what?
What's wrong with that?
Well, it's clean.
Yeah. And I know the runs. Look at those yellow marks.
You
those
know what?
are runs.
I just started that tonight because I like that. I'm going to try to do one thing every time up in the booth.
Yeah, let's see. Ground ball sharply toward the hole by Cabrera. Here comes Herrera around third, and he's going to score. It's 4-0. As Charlie Blackmon, a 2-out single just under the glove of Cabrera as he knocks in his 3rd run of the season. But the bunt single, Herrera, the sacrifice, and Blackmon's 2-out base hit.
Well, sinker away, slaps it right through that 5.5 hole. Good effort by Everett Cabrera.
And with 2 outs, Herrera with his speed running all the way, able to score without a throw by Quinton. So everyone in the lineup tonight, the regulars, have base hits except for La Rosa, the pitcher, but he's contributed in this inning with the sacrifice. And the way La Rosa's pitching, working on a 1-hit shutout through 5 innings. 4th run looks mighty big.
Well, they've been driving the pitch count up against De La Rosa. That could help trying to get him out of the ball game. They need to find a way.
LeMahieu 2-0. Single to center, single to left, and was safe on Cabrera's throwing error in the 5th inning and scored an unearned run against Cashner.
The Rockies have had solid approaches tonight, but they've also found some holes.
Fly ball to right. Routine for Blanks. And that'll end the inning. But the Rockies add another, and after 5.5, it's 4-0 Colorado.
Strike the K, and that became the mark of the strikeout. And then over time, the called 3rd strike in many people's scorebooks, you just reverse. It's a backward K. You just write it backwards.
And that's Paul Dixon, who wrote the book Joy of Keeping Score, an entire book on scorekeeping in baseball. Here's Chase Headley leads off the bottom of the 6th inning. So called strikes, the way Dixon scores it, you reverse the K, a backward K for called, and the regular K for a swinging strike. See how that fan, does he have a called strike? It's a pretty good looking scorebook. Headley single and a line drive out to center. De La Rosa now with 92 pitches, but more importantly leaning on a 4-0 lead here in the 6th.
Now you're always looking for little things, especially with Chase Headley, and he's grinding out every at bat. Last night looked very uncomfortable from the left side. Tonight looks a lot slower to me. More calm. He's got that single to go along with that.
Takes the fastball strike.
Last time, line to center.
Middle of the order for the Padres. Try to get something cooking against De La Rosa. Headley, Quentin, and Guzman to hit. And around.
Well, that's that split change. It comes out of his hands. Hard to hold back. It looks like a fastball out of the hands of De La Rosa. And just the bottom drops out of it. Goes back to it again.
Full count. Chase Headley. The Padres going to need to come up with a big rally if they're going to continue what has been a very successful run of games here at Petco. They're 25-12 the last 37 games. That's the best in the National League at home. And a leadoff walk for Headley. That'll work. Fourth walk from De La Rosa. Want to remind you not to miss Friday night. What a night. There's fireworks, and the Padres will wear their PCL uniforms, and against the Giants at 7:10, the first 25,000 of you get a Padres fedora and pregame concert thrown in, the Mardells and a Big Band era themed postgame fireworks. Oh, how about that? Friday night, Padres PCL night tickets are available at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. That looks very much like the
those are sweet lids.
Fedora. Ground ball. Quentin is fouled. You know who's going to really like this?
Oh, I know.
You know who we're talking
our
about.
hat man.
Yep.
Mark Grant.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you are wearing a big aluminum bowl on your head. He'd say, "Man, is that a good-looking lid?" Well, this one is, and 25,000 of you will. Z-Man there. He's got a good lid. We'll get you one of these straws. Meanwhile, Quentin trying to get a hold of one here for the Padres. Takes a fastball away. So there's the evidence of.
Yeah, that's a sweet lid right there.
Not too bad.
I like it.
So first 25,000 of you on Friday night will have that to take home.
Yeah, the bald guys like wearing hats.
Summertime special. A ball, a strike to Quentin. That ball is hit well to center field. The sound was good. How deep is it going? To the wall. Blackman off the top of the wall. Touch a ball. Carlos Quentin, his 11th homer of the year, and cuts the 4-0 lead in half. The Padres are on the board. A 2-run shot by Quentin. It looked like Blackman was going to catch it. In his timing, he hit the wall, threw him off, and the ball appeared to hit the top of the wall. That's only 8 feet high out there.
What a swing by Carlos Quentin. And go back to his last at bat, 10 pitches. A lot of knowledge. And he and Chase Headley come up with a big moment as Walt Weiss takes a slow walk out to the mound.
Only the second hit off De La Rosa tonight, but it's a big one, a 2-run home run. And there's the scoring, and it looks good. A couple of red hash marks for the 2 runs accounted for by Quentin, who now has the club lead with 11 home runs. And that'll be all for De La Rosa. The leadoff walk comes back to bite the Colorado pitcher. Change from the bullpen. 4-2 now, Colorado.
recognize where pitching changes are made and pinch hitting appearances are made.
And what Mark Grant does, he uses a red pen to indicate that. I think I'm going to borrow that for my own use. How I do it, just like as before when I noted that the pinch hitter with a solid line was coming up here. Well, I put a solid line this way, which indicates a new relief pitcher after the walk. Fourth walk of the game. Home run, 2-run shot to center. Headley scores on the home run. And now a new pitcher, Escalona. And I marked that up here as well, Escalona, at the top of that 5th inning box or 6th inning box. Escalona is 1-1, lost 2, as you can see.
Well, it's a power fastball arm. 95, 96, 97 miles an hour. But also possesses a good tight slider.
Guzman falls behind 0-2. Escalona does give up some base hits now. He's 36 in the 3rd innings, 38 hits. And 5 of those home runs in just 36 innings. No one out. Strike 3. 3 pitches, and Guzman has struck out all 3 times up tonight.
Now check out the movement. That glove side run comes back on the plate with velocity.
So the first out brings up Kyle Blanks. He's grounded out twice. Padres have pulled to within 4-2. And now they're into that Rockies bullpen.
Oh, that slider. First pitch slider to Kyle Blanks. Last time up with the check swing.
One and one. 94 on the fastball. Line to right field. That's going to be a base hit. Down into the corner, and Blanks with his speed wants 2. He'll get 2 as Kadire gets the ball in, and the Padres with 1 out have a chance to collect more in this 4-2 game. A double for Blanks.
What an approach by Kyle Blanks, taking that fastball, staying inside it. Check out the short swing by Kyle Blanks. It's a beautiful approach. The fastball mix, slider, staying on the baseball.
Escalona gives up his first hit with 1 out. A Blanks double brings up Forsythe. Logan, a strikeout and a walk facing De La Rosa. .94 strike. Padres are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight, and only 5 for 25 in the 3 games against Colorado. It's been their Achilles in this last week throughout the losing streak, and in this 3-game series having chances but not delivering. There's my book as I summarize De La Rosa. 5+ innings, 2 runs, both earned, 2 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts.
Well, I go back to those at bats. Carlos Quentin, Nick Hundley battling, fouling balls off. That helped get De La Rosa out of the game earlier. As you can see, only 2 hits.
Almost threw that one away. A little extra and yanked it. 1 and 2. The Rockies 4 runs, 10 hits. Padres 2 runs, 3 hits. But Headley's walk followed by Quentin's home run, cutting into that 4-0 advantage of Colorado. Chance to pick up another run here with Blanks, a 1-out double. 2 and 2. Nick Hundley on deck.
You can see him really pull across on that glove side. 2 strikes, you have to battle. It's a plus velocity guy. You got to hit off the fastball.
Up the middle sharply, but right at Herrera. And Forsythe is out. smacked it hard. Herrera positioned just right. 2 outs, and Blanks moves to third. Nick Hundley safe on an error. Third baseman Arenado, and he walked. 90 feet away from a 4-3 game. Kyle Blanks. Blanks taking his lead, and then with his weight moved forward toward home plate in case that ball gets away. He can come in to score. In fact, the Rockies have scored on a wild pitch tonight. Andrew Kastner giving up the run in the 5th inning. Marcotte. Pitcher spot is due next. Some of the grandstand umpires thought that was out of the zone. 1-2.
That's a pitcher's pitch. You can see from Fox Tracks right on that edge.
Perfect pitch. That paint belongs to the pitcher as well. So the man at third, 2 outs. Only still down on the end of the bat, and takes that one just off the corner. It's good. You know, you can just see there the logic of the Escalona and his catch at Torrealba. Gets a strike, perfect knee high outside corner. Just throw it a little more outside, and hope, 1, you get the call, and 2, that Hundley, after seeing that previous pitch called a strike, might go after it.
Yeah, that surprised me, but Torrealba wanted that ball up. Everything's sinking down and in, down and away. He still wants this elevated pitch. I think this is uncomfortable for Escalona.
And the count is 3-2. 96 on the fastball. Bud Black checking that scorecard. Different kind of scorecard for him. He's not marking what every player does. He's just making sure he knows what ammunition he has, who's available, who might be out there in the bullpen for the Rockies, how you make your next move.
A constant chess game for Bud Black.
Ball 4. So from 2 strikes down, Hundley works a walk. So the tying run is on here in the 6th inning for the Padres. First walk from Escalona. Pitching coach Jim Wright makes a visit to the mound.
Padre fans, be sure to answer the call when your Padres take on the Giants Saturday, July 13th at 7:10. The first 25,000 fans will take home a Padres smartphone cover. Get your tickets today at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555.
Well, Mark Swinney, something going on every single game in that Giants series. Thursday night, that's college night. You college guys and gals, $10 tickets. Come on out and see the Giants and the Padres. And Friday night, the fireworks and the fedoras. Saturday night, the phone covers. And Sunday, of course, Military Sunday, U.S. Army to be saluted on Sunday. Kotze hits it to center field. In comes Blackmon and makes the catch. So the Padres settled for 2 on the walk and 2-run home run by Carlos Quentin. And we go to the 7th, 4-2 Rockies.
Jones with you, working on the post-game show for you. Andrew Kashner, boy, he just seemed to be getting nicked up out there. Nothing really crushed, but a lot of small singles.
You're right. I thought Andrew pitched better than his line would indicate, but a lot of C&I base hits. That was a line drive, but Tier followed up with 2 kind of 5.5 ground balls. Left a few balls up that he got hurt on, but overall, not a bad inning for Cash.
So Carlos Quinton getting us back in this one with a big 2-run home run. So 4-2 is where we stand. Still plenty of baseball left to be played. When we see after the final out, you're also here for the manager, Buddy Black. And we'll talk with the Padres official scorer as we maintain. Scoring is such a wonderful part of the game. Keeps you so engaged. And Dick and Mark, I like the way you guys are working together to improve Sweeney's scorebook.
It's neat.
Yeah, this is a beatdown for me.
Nick Vincent comes in to pitch the 7th inning. So draw another horizontal mark. It will indicate he starts the 7th inning with Carlos Gonzalez, the first batter. Gonzalez, Kadire, and Helton. Tough 3 for Nick Vincent. Soft ground ball hits the mound. That slows it up and gives Forsythe a chance to throw him out. Padres get a break there. That was headed up the middle, hit the slope of the mound and angled it back over to Forsythe, who makes the play.
Take a look at the cutting action by Nick Vince. You don't see it on that replay, but what an outstanding play by Logan Forsythe. Going to his right. Tough play to get your body in position. Go back to this cutter by Nick Vince, and you can see the action on that pitch, blowing up the bat by Carlos Gonzalez.
Forsythe throws him out. 4-3 in your scorebook as Michael Kadire comes up. A single, a walk, and safe on a fielder's choice, takes a strike. Tim Stauffer, an inning, 1 run. It was earned, 2 hits, no walks, and a strikeout. 4-2. Rockies here in the 7th. Just missed the outside corner. And trying to nibble. Doesn't get the paint. That'll be out of play.
Oh, we're taking a look at the rookies book again. This is my adjustment I've made, and I like this adjustment.
Yeah, I like the yellow, especially on the Padres half.
And I like that home run, more importantly.
Where did it go?
It went straight central.
There you go.
Can you draw a line?
Yeah, you could put a little arrow there.
I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Okay. Out of play, Kadire, and it remains 2-2.
You got to know your strengths and weaknesses.
You can't get stronger unless you lift the pen.
Very true.
There's the line score for the Rockies with all the starters except the pitcher spot with a base hit. Torrealba with a couple, and Mayhew with 2. Just missing outside again. The attendance tonight, 19,411. The Giants in tomorrow night for a 4-game series prior to the All-Star game. And Kadire walks again. 2nd time tonight. He's walked 4 times in the series.
Let's go back to our Twitter poll tonight. That final vote for the National League, and you see Yasiel Puig, 70%. It was 66 last night. Freddie Freeman coming in the 2nd. Remember, fans, 2013 Major League All-Star Game live from New York, July 16th, only on Fox.
Coming up next Tuesday as Helton takes a strike. Todd has walked and scored, singled in a run in the 3rd, and struck out. Line drive, base hit. On his way to 3rd, Kadire. On a single by Helton, the Rockies are at the corners with 1 out here in the 7th. Two-hit night for Helton.
Getting that foot down, pulling his hands in. You can see just a short stroke by Todd Helton. You don't need bat speed. You need to be able to manipulate the barrel of the bat. Michael Kadire puts his head down. He understands that's a tough play for Kyle Blanks to throw him out at third base. Need a ground ball here.
Rockies trying to negate the two-run home run by Quinton to pull the Padres within 2. Here's Arenado. Struck out, singled, hard ground ball out to short the last time. That hits the corner. Colorado Rockies have had a runner in scoring position all 7 innings tonight.
Well, they've done a nice job putting the pressure on the Padres tonight.
Pops him up. And Arenado mad, breaks his bat on the ground around home plate as Cabrera comes in to make the out.
Well, it's not the bat's fault. It's a solid pitch by Nick Vincent in a big situation. Oh, you can see the frustration. That's youthful frustration.
That play works in tennis too, though.
We've seen it.
Done it. Torrealba, double to left, single to left, struck out. He's only had a little over 100 at bats, but 301 average is the backup catcher to the man they call the baby bull, Willeen Rosario. Brad Brock getting ready again. Plenty of time left for the Padres, but they need to check the Rockies here and keep them at 4-2. It's the outside edge.
Now when Nick Vincent gets on top of that cutter, stays down, has that cutter slider action, gets off barrels of the bat.
Didn't get the call on the first base, so it's 1-1. Fly ball to right. Blanks giving ground. That ball really carried all the way to the warning path. Blanks makes the catch. The Rockies leave 2. Stretch half of the 7. 4-2 the visitors. Discovered in Baja, imported by surfers, by Petco, where the healthy pets go, And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile tomorrow. Hard-working journeyman Matt Belisle answers the call again. 7th inning. He'll face the top of the order, Cabrera, Denorfia, and Headley, with the Padres needing 2 to tie. Already 41 games in the book for Belisle.
Well, here's the numbers on Matt Belisle, but it's also fastball, slider, curve, and change. He's a command guy. Pitches right around 90 miles an hour. As you can see with those 44 innings out of the bullpen, he's a workhorse.
Well, it's the 3 Bs in the bullpen that work the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings when everything is set up properly. Matt Belisle, then Rex Brothers, and then Rafael Betancourt.
See the last 3 outings. Solid work.
They combined 1, 2, 3 in the win 4-2 in the first game of the series. Belisle working a perfect inning with 1 strikeout. Cabrera safe on a fielder's choice. First steal since being on the injured list, his 32nd of the year. Hitting left-handed for the first time. 3 groundouts for Cabrera. Safe on a fielder's choice and able to steal second, but Denorfia couldn't bring him in. Waved at off speed at 69. Big right-hander from Austin, Texas, is now 33.
Well, it's always been a challenge for the Colorado Rockies and their bullpens.
Part of that is pitching at Coors Field.
Walt Weiss, the manager, will talk about that. You got to be able to pitch, especially in Colorado.
1-2. Cabrera leading off the 7th. Padres need 2 to tie. Just outside. '80 appearances last year for Belisle. 76 the year before. He's on that pace again this year. Over but low.
That slider is down.
Cabrera trying to get it started here in the 7th. That wasn't too low. That could have been called strike 3. No pitch. Out of play.
As you can see from our Fox tracks, everything away until that pitch. Everett Cabrera battles that to see our box score.
4 hits for the Padres, or make that 3 hits for the Padres, but 1 big blow, and that was Carlos Quentin's 2-run homer in the last inning. And another foul.
Those are Fox tracks by Southland Technology. All of those pitches on the outside. He battled that 6th pitch. With Cabrera continues to put up solid at bats. He's starting to get his timing back from the disabled list.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff man Cabrera. Line drive, base hit by third, down into the corner. Cabrera sprints around first and then eases his way into second with a leadoff double. That gets us started here in the 7th.
Now just a solid at bat by Everett Cabrera, elevated, driving that ball inside the base, down the third base line. He has earned every bit of being an all-star. And he's evolved as a hitter, a fielder, and his stolen bases speak for themselves.
Leading the team in so many categories as Cabrera: hits, runs, walks, steals, and batting average. .294 at the start tonight. DeNorfia has walked and grounded twice to third. Situational hitting. Try to shoot one through that right side. At the very worst, move the runner along, and it looked as if that's what he was trying to do in the first swing.
Yeah, and that's the reason why you fall in love with Chris DeNorfia. He thinks the right things, tries to execute. As you can see him fighting to stay inside that pitch.
Headley on deck, and then Quinton here in the 7th. A ball and a strike to Chris. Headley, a single and a walk in his 2 trips and a line out. That was right there for DeNorfia. Fouled it back.
Well, he wants to get that RBI single, but he wants to do it to the right side. Usually take until 2 strikes, and now you have to battle.
Ground ball right side and through. Cabrera around third. Here comes a throw to the plate, and he's in. It's 4-3. DeNorfia delivers, and the Padres are within 1.
What an outstanding approach by Chris DeNorfia. Even with 2 strikes, he stays inside the baseball, shortens that stride, and does everything right as Michael Kadire throws home to try to nab Cabrera. No chance. Great at bat by Chris DeNorfia at a huge time.
Still no one out. Chase Headley takes a strike at the knees. The Padres saw Colorado score single runs in the 2nd, 3rd, 5th. That run was unearned. And 6th. Quinton's 2-run homer in the last inning, and now a double Cabrera and a single DeNorfia made it 4-3. Bell jumps in front of Headley, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes.
Off Fox Tracks by Southland Technology. Everything away. Big situation. He's going to have to earn it. If he comes in, he's probably going to come in off the plate. Maybe that down and in slider. Not now.
Outside, Ron Culpa calls the balls and strikes verbally as Rex Brothers, left-hander, starts loosening up in the bullpen. Their system is basically Belle Isle 7th inning, Brothers 8th inning, Betancourt in a save situation 9th inning.
And that's what you set up.
But the Padres a run already off Belle Isle, no one out. Strike 3. Caught looking, and Foxtrack said it caught enough of the knees for a good call. Culpa.
Now too close to take with 2 strikes. That ball is right on the bottom part of the zone. A perfect pitcher's pitch.
Last time up, Carlos Quinton off the top of the wall in center field with Headley aboard with a walk. His 11th home run of the season. Blackman thought he had it in his glove.
Ran out of room.
Breaking ball, swung on and missed. There was a case, had Blackman gotten to the wall first, he could have easily jumped and made the catch. But he hit the wall as the ball arrived.
Part of the challenges of a visiting player is not knowing your elements. Get back to the wall and try to get in position where you can rob that home run instead of running into the wall.
A ball and a strike to Carlos Quentin.
I'm not mad about it. I'm glad Carlos Quentin has a home run.
Lined out sharply to left field his first time. Struck out in the fourth. His 11th home run now leads the team. There's no law, is there, here at Petco about hitting 2, is there?
No. I'd love to see it.
Right center field, not deep enough, however. And Blackman able to make the catch. Back to first to Norfia. Now Jesus Guzman will be the hitter.
Well, you can see for the Padre hitters, Matt Belisle, if you're going to hit a home run, it's probably going to be opposite field or to center field. Working away exclusively to the Padre hitters.
Tough night for Guzman, wearing the color, 3 consecutive strikeouts. He continues to work the outside part of the plate. Belial. Denorfia might pick a spot, try to get himself in scoring position here. He has 7 steals.
Right center.
There's a leaning there. Joe Thatcher, Luke Gregerson. Luke Yoder's tomato vines really taken over in that bullpen. Producing too. Great fruit. 1-1.
Well, you can see this is the spot right here. That's where Jesus Guzman has to stay on it. Matt Belisle's throwing those sliders away. Take that double into that gap.
With 2 outs, Denorfia could score the tying run. So 2 balls and a strike to Jesus Guzman. Padres with a run off Belial here in the 7th to cut the Colorado lead down. They've shaved it from 4-0 to 4-2, now 4-3. And 3-1. If Guzman keeps it going, Kyle Blanks would be next. Balls and a strike.
A perfect situation for Jesus Guzman to take that fastball. 3-1 count.
You can almost count on it being on the outside quarter of the plate. Right, Guzman. Well, that just did catch the knees.
Ron Culpa's not going to like this one.
Red Black yelling that ball's down. But he's been consistent all night, giving the low strike.
Credit Matt Belisle throwing a breaking ball and a fastball count.
Sure did look low, but the Fox track said it's right there and nudging the knees. Denorfia off with the pitch. And Guzman has struck out, and has struck out again 4 times tonight. But the Padres got a run on Denorfia's single, getting Cabrera home. Cabrera had doubled, and it's 4-3.
back to Petco Park here in the 8th inning, and a productive night for both Yonder Alonso and Jed Jerko, who are making rehab assignments. Yonder Alonso 2 for 4 tonight. Jed Jerko 2 for 3 with a double in 6 innings of work at Lake Elsinore. And guys, like I said before, Buddy, you know, he's optimistic that both of these guys could return to the club by the end of the week. He did have to laugh, though, when Yonder Alonso called him after his first game and said, "All right, Skip, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. One game. Put me in."
Well, he follows up 4 for 4 last night, Kelly, with 2 for 4 tonight, 6 for 8 for Alonso, and good to get the news that Jerko pounding out a couple of hits at Lake Elsinore. Here's Herrera, top of the 8th inning, and he bunted for a base hit the last time, and Hundley better hurry, and just does get him. It took every bit of Hundley's talent to get there in time and fire a strike to deny Herrera.
Well, take a look at how Nick Hundley gets out of the box. And a strong, quick throw by Nick Hundley, just nabbing Herrera.
It was Herrera's bunt in the 6th inning and a sacrifice that led to what is now the go-ahead run, 4-3, the 4th run scored by Colorado. Corey Dickerson is going to pinch hit for Belle Isle. Takes a strike.
You see Nick Hundley wearing that hockey style mask. That changed from last year to this year. Last year he would have whipped off that conventional catcher's mask. This year he had to keep it on, making that play. It's outstanding play by Nick.
Takes some getting used to, doesn't it?
It does.
Slap foul. Dickerson is 0 for 6 as a pinch hitter. Nick Vincent into a 2nd inning of pitching. Gave up a walk and a single in the 7th, but got out of it when Torrealba fly deep to right for the last out. By the mound, Charge Cabrera, tough play. Oh, throws it away, but it was going to be safe anyway. The first base umpire, Tom Hallion, started his safe call, so no error. That's a base hit. Dickerson can move up the line.
Well, you can see getting out of the box, especially the left-handed hitter. Evan Cabrera does everything he can. That's a hit all the way.
Dozen hits now for Colorado. And brings up the leadoff man, Charlie Blackmon. Singled in a run in the 6th inning with 2 outs, and that's the difference in the game now. 4-3 Rockies in the 8th. Nick Vincent up high. Wow, that ball rocket to right over. That was by Guzman before he could raise his glove. On to third goes the runner, and with trouble in right field, Blanks. That's going to allow a run to score, and all the way to third goes Blackmon. As Dickerson was ready to settle for third, but Blanks couldn't get it cleanly out of the corner, and the Rockies pick up a big run, 5-3. They're going to call that a triple. Just the machinations of that right field corner with a Petco porch and a couple of extra angles.
Well, Cutter, it doesn't cut. Stays over the middle of the plate. And Blackmon tags this, like you talked about, Dick, down. And this is the tough time down there. Just clips that corner for Kyle Blanks. That's a triple all the way.
Dickerson with the infield hit comes all the way around to score to make it 5-3. Infield will play in now with 1 out, and LeMahieu, the batter, trying to deny another run. As the Rockies have racked up a total of 13 hits tonight. Blackmon with his second RBI tonight. That doubles his season total. Two and 0 with Cargo on deck. Carlos Gonzalez, then Michael Kadire.
Nick Vincent wants to try to drive this cutter down in the zone. Try to get that ground ball.
But he falls behind 3-0. That's a big run for the Rockies to make it 5-3 after the Padres pull within 4-3 in the last inning. And ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to LeMahieu, and that'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. It's time for our Sequan Casino Daycation stat of the game. National League strikeout leaders, players, most strikeouts. You can add one for Carlos Gonzalez. He struck out his first time up, so he has 100. Ugla, a lead you don't want to enjoy, but he's usually right up there, the most strikeouts in the National League. Joe Thatcher comes in to pitch to Carlos Gonzalez. He had many fans, didn't he? Tony Gwynn still does. And here's your San Diego fans of the game. Yeah. A doubles team keeping score. And this night we celebrate the art of score keeping and enjoying the game through your chronicling each at bat. And here's a big one, first and third. Joe Thatcher to pitch to the leading home run hitter in the National League, Carlos Gonzalez. 1 for 4 tonight. Joe making his 43rd appearance. First and third, 1 out.
Well, the left-handed specialist and Joe Thatcher against one of the top left-handed hitters in the game.
High pop up on the infield. That's way up there. Will it come down? Finally into Forsythe's glove. 2 away. Now that was a major league pop-up. That was light standard height.
Well, battle won by Joe Thatcher. Elevator up. And he's frustrated because he got to pitch up. Joe Thatcher, nice job.
1 pitch, 1 out. Work done. Luke Gregerson throwing in the bullpen as Kokomo Joe gets Gonzalez.
Levy for a new episode of Padres POV. This week the crew joins the bigs and the littles for a day of food, fun, and tailgating with Big Brother Big Sisters program. Plus, Glenn Hoffman stops by and gives the crew a lesson Friday at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports San Diego.
They do a great job with that show. Last night after our game, we had a chance to leave early and arrived home before our Fox Sports San Diego productions were totally complete, and before they replay the game itself, the POV was on, and it's very entertaining. Inside look at the Padres from their point of view, inside out. Good stuff.
We're proud of that work.
Yeah, well produced. Girls do a terrific job. Megan and Laura, Kelly. Kadire, 2 outs, first and third. Brad Brock in to pitch for the Padres. Thatcher gets his man Gonzalez. Now Brock trying to get an all-star in Kadire. Kadire a single and 2 walks. 1 for 2 tonight.
Well, Brad Brock's last outing, very aggressive, working the edges, and I love the tilt on his slider. Look like the Brad Brock of old.
Blackman at third, LeMahieu at first.
Ooh.
Fastball just missed. Might have been called a strike. Didn't get it. Foul tip. And it's 2-2 on Kadire. I mentioned earlier that Everett Cabrera coming into the game had the best average in the National League against left-handed pitching. Kadire has the best average in the National League against right-handed pitching. So right-hander against right-hander doesn't bother him. He's hitting .353 against righties. Runners at the corners for Colorado and a run home here in the 8th to make it 5-3. Way inside. Kadire with a couple of walks tonight. Walked twice last night.
Well, that's the difference this year. You can't fake to third. You have to deliver that over to the third baseman. It's a rule change this year.
Not a bad play there. You're not expecting it as a base runner. Blackman. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes and a foul away. So a catch made by a fan in the second deck. Didn't need a glove. Good hands. Even if he is a Rockies fan. Again, the 3-2. That's a good looking pitch. Kadire gets the call and walks for the 3rd time. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And Todd Hilton is the batter. He's 2 for 3. Scored a run, knocked in a run. Tough out for Brad Brock. Needs to get the job done to keep the Padres close with 2 innings yet to go. This is now 8 straight innings with a runner in scoring position for the Rockies. Every inning. They've stranded 9, and now they have the bases loaded for Hilton, and he's ahead on that swing.
Well, good changeup. Good action on that pitch. Bottom just dropped out of it. Looks like a fastball out of his hands, just drops.
See the tight rotation on it.
That's good arm action. Nick wants this up.
Just inside, 1-2. Blackman, LeMahieu, Kadire aboard. And a ball, 2 strikes to the veteran Hilton. Ground ball to short. Cabrera goes to first base for the out. That's it for the Rockies, but they score another on the triple by Charlie Blackman and lead 5-3. And the Padres and Rockies rattling a lot of base hits from the Colorado side. 13 of them to lead 5-3. Both teams with plenty of opportunities to score as the left-hander Rex Brothers comes in to work the 8th inning. It'll be Blanks, Forsyth, and Hundley. So the lefty against 3 right-handed batters. 2-0 his record on the season, and opponents are batting only .200 against this veteran lefty.
Fastball slider change from Rex Brothers.
So the Rockies tonight, runners in scoring position, and they've had them every inning, are 2 for 13. Padres are 1 for 9. Padres are 6 for 28 in the series. And Blanks takes it outside 2-0. Padres down by 2 here in the last of the 8th. Had some trouble 3 outings ago against the Dodgers.
Everyone's been having trouble with the Dodgers. They're hot right now.
Fly ball sliced to right. That's a tough play. A long run for Kadire, and he gets there in time. Good break on the ball by the right fielder for the Rockies.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Even the local consent, much less the express consent.
Exactly. I almost got it.
A lot of tough words. Forsyth struck out, walked, and hit the ball sharply last time on the ground, but right to the shortstop, Herrera. Good cut.
Great swing. Well, that's the difference. Things are going well. You're not fouling that ball off. See Logan Forsythe shaving his beard off. So many things you try as a baseball player.
The Rockies, when they have the lead late in games, they don't relinquish the win very often. When they lead by the end of the 8th inning, they're 34-1 this year, 15-0 on the road. Padres trying to get something going here in the 8th. 2-2. Forsyth. Hundley on deck. Young guys in the mood with their San Diego logos on the forehead. Looper, right field, falling. Blackman, what a catch! Oh, how did he get there? Charlie Blackman just outran that dying fly ball in right center. It sure looked like a base hit off the bat, but Forsyth is denied.
It just seemed like this ball did not want to get down for Logan Forsythe. Stayed in the air for a long time, and credit Charlie Blackman coming a long way and going across his body to make a big league play. I always marvel at the defensive play in the big leagues.
Lots of leather to work with, huh? As Nick Hundley steps up, he's walked twice and safe on an error, so he's been on base all 3 times. Takes a strike. Will Venable is on deck. Pitcher spot due next. Strike 2.
Fox Tracks by Southland Technology has those perfect pitches down in the zone by Rex Brothers.
Struck him out. 3 pitches. On to the 9th inning. Rockies 5 with the Padres 3. happy mood here with the fans out in the park at the park, but the Padres need a couple to make it even more joyful. As we look ahead to Jason Marquis, he'll get the assignment tomorrow night in the opening game of the 4-game series against the Giants. Looking for his 10th win of the year against Madison Bumgarner, the talented left-hander for the Giants, who's 9-5. Marquis, Bumgarner, tomorrow 6:30 here on Fox Sports San Diego. And then on Friday, Sean O'Sullivan will get his first start with the Padres against Chad Godin. Volquez and Lincecum will pitch Saturday night, and Sunday Stoltz comes back, the left-hander, against veteran Barry Zito. Bud Black, while he's making his double switch, also getting a word in with Ron Kulpa that the manager has been a little confused about the pitch calling of Kulpa, especially the low pitch. Chief of the crew, Tom Hallion, comes over and says, "Come on, Bud. Enough." Just never win if you're the skipper. They get the final word, don't they?
Let's go back to the replay, and here's Ron Kulpa and Jesus Guzman talking. This might have something to do with it. As you can see, Buddy Black coming right in, defending his players. That's the reason why he probably had a conversation. Tom Hallion, the first base umpire, comes in.
I don't know if Guzman's still in there, and I don't think that Buddy did anything to be ejected.
Well, you got to protect your players, and credit Buddy Black for getting out there early.
Up the elevator shaft. Nick Hundley literally could have just turned around, not moved his feet, and the ball would have come right down into his glove. One out as Arenado pops out to the catcher, and here's Torrealba. Had a good night, a single double. Long out to right his last time up as Gregerson makes his 41st appearance of the year.
Now, solid numbers by Luke Gregerson. He's been the workhorse for Bud Black. Multiple roles.
Padres in the bottom half of the 9th inning will have the pitcher's spot, then Cabrera and Denorfia scheduled. Slider for a strike. Fastball, 0-2.
Now, the rare fastball by Luke Gregerson, but that's a located fastball with movement.
Of course, Torrealba having caught Gregerson when they were teammates here with the Padres. He's looking slider, probably going to get one here. No, comes back with a fastball, wasted outside. The snail getting ready, Rafael Betancourt.
That's a conversation with Phil Plantier, who they're going to use to lead off the inning. The pitcher spot's up next.
Got him looking. Slider catches the inside corner. Torrealba's not happy with Kulpa.
A lot of conversations with home plate umpire Ron Kulpa. This backup slider goes the other direction. Usually it's that tilt. Down and away to the right-hander.
And the way Hundley catches it, it looks like the ball is outside, or inside rather. But Torrealba is out, 2 away, and here's Herrera. Bunted for a base hit 2 at bats, and then tried to bunt again last time. Hundley just did throw him out. Had a sacrifice fly to get the first Colorado run in back in the second. Ty Colvin, left-handed batter, is on deck, pitcher spot. He's going to bunt again, 1-2. Fly ball to center. Denorfia. 1, 2, 3 for the first time tonight. The Rockies go in order. Gregerson gets the job done. Here come the Pods. Blackman just called up from Colorado Springs, an RBI single and an RBI triple for Blackman to account for 2 of the Rocky runs, and he adds that catch of the game, denying Logan Forsythe of a base hit with that skidding move in right center field. So Charlie Blackman, 2 hits. After lining to left, he grounded out twice, singled in a run, a ground single to left, and tripled into the right field corner. 2 RBIs for Blackman, a key, and then over on the other side of the book, a diving catch, and I marked that with a big star. It's a outstanding play by the center fielder as Rafael Betancourt looks for his 13th save of the season.
Well, the closer for the Rockies. He's going to come in with that fastball curveball mix. Curveballs are usually for a ball to try to chase. Nothing special from Rafael Betancourt, but he understands how to close out games.
Alexi Amarista will pinch hit for Gregerson to start the inning. Amarista, the star with the bat last night, knocking in both Padre runs with a single and a triple in their 2-1 win. Betancourt earned the save in the 4-2 game on Monday night, but was in trouble in the 9th inning. He gave up a double to Denorfia and walked Cabrera. So with the score 4-2, the Padres had tying runs on and the winning run coming to the plate, but he got Kyle Blanks to fly out to end the game.
Well, it's all about finding a way now. 2 runs down. Alexi's got to try to do his job, get on base, start something.
And a strike, Betancourt. Well, the rally caps are on against a pitcher who loves to fidget with his cap. In the dirt, 1-1.
Well, not many strikes called on that breaking ball. He wants the appearance of the fastball look. Trying to get these Padre hitters to chase.
1 ball, 1 strike. Amarista. Up high. 2-1. Let's see how many times Betancourt goes to the cap. And he wears out the bill of the cap. That's about the 6th time since he got the ball back from the catcher. 2-1. Three and one, Amarista. The old walk is as good as a hit. Certainly applies here. Leading off the inning.
I'm not a big proponent on taking too many pitches, but this is a situation where Alexi, he has to take one right here. If he swings that, it's got to be right down the middle. Down 2, you got to find a way to get on.
Broken bat, fly ball, shallow and right. Kadire with the catch, one away. Oh, that bat shattered. One piece halfway to first base, the other about 10 feet from the bag at first.
Well, this ball is right down the middle, and Alexi takes that aggressive approach. As you can see, the bat blows up.
Boy.
And sometimes it can have actually little cracks in the bat that you don't know about, you can't see. You take a good swing. That looked like the end of the bat.
So
down it goes. Excuse me.
One out. No problem. As Cabrera steps up. Doubled and scored in the 7th. Came home on Denorfia's single to right. That made it 4-3 at the time. High fastball. Padres with only 5 hits. The big blow, Carlos Quentin's 11th home run of the year with a man on in the 6th. Carlos hoping he gets a chance to bat here in the 9th. That would mean the Padres have something going. That's a strike. 1-1.
Well, I like that. It's almost taking a pitch but getting some movement.
Arenado coming in on the grass, anticipating that he was going to bunt. Now he moves back. He's only bag high at third, so that makes the hole a little better for Cabrera, going the opposite way.
Yeah, just try to drive it over here. Try to open that hole.
His double was to left field last time up. That ball in the dirt. 1-2. Eight times he's gone to the bill of the cap. 9. He's like Djokovic when he bouncing the ball on the serve. One and 2. Ground ball up the middle. Nice play, but then a bobble, and Cabrera's safe. LeMahieu had it, and then it spun out of the leather, and the Padres will bring the tying run to the plate here in the 9th. As a playable ball, should be an error.
Well, you got to shorten up with 2 strikes. That's exactly what Everett Cabrera does. And speeds up the thought process for these fielders, trying to quicken up a little bit. DJ LeMahieu, costly error.
Now they're going to call that an infield hit. That's pretty generous home scoring. Goodness.
I know Everett will take it.
So Denorfia represents the tying run. Singled sharply through the right side to get Cabrera home in the 7th. Doesn't figure that Cabrera's going anywhere. His run can't hurt the Rockies. The man at the plate is their primary focus. He represents the tying score. There's that low strike. Fans getting impatient with Culpa. And Black certainly has not been in favor of Culpa's vision tonight. But you can make an argument on Fox Track that one's painting the bottom of the strike zone. Chop to third. Arenado, 2 away. Cabrera goes to second, down to the final out, and it's Chase Headley. Northfield grounded 3 times to the third baseman tonight. Headley, a single, a line out to center, walked and scored when Quentin followed with a home run in the 6th and flied out to right center field last time.
Well, big situation for Chase Headley.
With Carlos Quentin lurking on deck, Headley should get a good pitch. Chase with 7 home runs. Let's see as we watch Fox Tracks how Betancourt pitches to him. Boy, he is getting the calls, isn't he? Betancourt anything close to that strike zone, and he's just nibbling around the edges of it, getting the strike. Now the Padres down to their final strike, and again Betancourt nothing in the heart of the plate.
Well, that was a mistake right here. Just the location up and in the middle of the plate. The ball was supposed to be down and away, much like the first one. Chase's barrel goes underneath the baseball.
Left center field, falling and in for the base hit. They were in doubles depth, and Headley able to parachute a single, and it's 5-4. Cabrera comes around to score. Headley's 30th RBI of the season.
Now look at the location on this pitch, an 0-2 pitch, and that is a terrible pitch if you're a Rockies fan. And credit Chase Headley for battling, shortening that stroke, and the no doubles defense is to the benefit for the Padres.
We saw this in Colorado. They play their outfielders so extraordinarily deep that a ball like that would be a routine out if they're playing even up a few steps. Falls in for a hit. It worked for the Padres in Colorado, and it brings up the home run hitting Carlos Quentin, representing the winning run. With Headley at first base, 5-4 the score. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Headley goes, and he's in scoring position at second base. Betancourt, ignoring Headley, allowed the free steal.
And that was a surprise to me. Rafael Betancourt with a high leg kick. Nice awareness by Chase Headley taking that base.
His 6th steal. And now a single can get the job done.
Now the outfield has to come in.
Pitch was called a ball. 1-1. Earlier in the game, in the 6th inning, after Headley had walked, this ball measured just long enough. Top of the fence. Blackman thought for a moment he had it. Couldn't believe that it bounded by him. Top of the fence for the 2-run home run, number 11 for Quentin.
Well, you can see the defense, especially in the outfield, coming in.
A ball, a strike to Quentin. And the Padres down to their final strike again as that one goes into the second tier, bounces up into the press box.
You can see this pitch right down central. That barrel just gets below the baseball. Game of inches.
Ted Williams is right. Toughest thing to do in sports. Hit a round ball with a round bat squarely. Torriello out to make sure that they're on the right page here. It's a critical time. 5-4. The Padres with a run home. The infield hit by Cabrera. Able to move to second on the ground out by DeNorfia and score on the looping single by Headley.
We haven't seen pinpoint control by Betancourt. Padre hitters need a mistake.
Doesn't need to be a power shot from Quinton. Just a single will do the job to tie it. Look where that last pitch was. Off first, might be a play for Helton right at the dugout, and he leans in, and did he get it? He caught the ball, and that's how it ends. Helton reaching into the Padre dugout to snare the final out. And the Rockies have won it. 5 runs, 13 hits, and an error. 12 men left on base. The Padres 3 runs on 7 hits and error, and the Padres leave 9 men. 19,411 saw it. The Rockies take the series 2 games out of 3, and we go to Mike Pomeranz.
Well, gentlemen, that one was definitely tough. Had a shot there at the end, not enough. We'll talk about Andrew Cashner's night. You'll hear from Buddy Black and the ins and outs of the official scorer's job in a moment.